Gon' free your mind. Gon' free your mind, yeah. This is free your mind. This is free your mind. Gon' free it up, gon' free it up. Gon' free it up, gon' free it up. Gon' free it up, gon' free it up.
Yes, sir.
What is poppin'?
We back, man. We back in here.
Back at it.
See.
They gotta dust everything off right now for real. Yeah, man, it's been a minute. Shout out to everybody that's been asking, waiting for us to pull back.
Where y'all at? Where y'all been at? What happened to the podcast, man? I got it all, bruh.
Right.
Pulling up on people. Y'all stop doing the podcast. Y'all not doing it no more.
But yeah, oh shit, intro done. Welcome to another episode of Free Your Mind Podcast, where we come free your mind and help others free theirs. I'm your co-host, and I go by the name of Woon, and I'm all about balance like a mop and a broom. What's popping?
I am the other co-host by the name of Selfmade. You gotta tap into self to know thyself always, man.
Always.
And then forgot the intro.
Man, look.
No, it's good to be back, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna start popping back up a little bit more, you know what I mean, now that we done figured out some schedule stuff and all the good shit. You know, we had to go through the lip on the toilet paper roll, you know what I'm saying? And
Bounce that thing up a little bit.
right. You know what I'm saying? Back at it. We back at it, man. Shout out to the chat. Why I can't see the chat? Where the chat at?
Oh shit, I wasn't even looking on that side either.
Shout out to the chat, all the early birds in the building. Hold on,
You can see the chat on this side?
Oh yeah, I pulled it up. Ain't nobody in here. Or if they is in here, they ain't say nothing yet. But peace to the chat. Damn, I don't like how I gotta keep funneling through all these different categories. They done updated it up on here too.
This shit looking fucking new as hell. Oh, there we go.
All right, hold on real quick.
Oh no, you good. But while we waiting on my co-host and shit, hold on, let me show this one first. For everybody who know, this book is out right now. First children's book. Go out and play, of course. You can catch it online, Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Nobles, Books A Million, and every other place that you can find books. Then I dropped my second book, Go Out and Play. This is a activity book, you know, just for your kids. And they ultimately, at the end of the day, they're drawing themselves to be their own superhero. So they do their own illustrations. This one's a regular read. This one also has a storyline a little bit, but it's more or less about the drawing and having your kids become a superhero. So shout out to that nigga Woon. That nigga be on his fucking job when it comes to loving the kids and shit, right? Definitely got to plug that. And I should be I got another children's book that I want to put out for the beginning of this next coming school year. So already tapped in with an illustrator and shit. She said that she's down to do whatever it is that I want to do on that type of time. So we definitely gonna get that shit lit for sure. So I think the title, I think I'm gonna call it the things that kids learn on the playground or something of that nature. I ain't really snapped it out yet. It's still
some outdoor shit. I'd be liking that.
Oh yeah, it's still outdoors for sure.
I mean?
Yeah,
real.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, it's been a lot of. We seen all this alien talk past week or two.
Yep.
and it's a pretty much official at this point that aliens exist. Is that's what pretty much kind of like where we at with it?
Yeah. It's funny, man, because first, they was doing like the UFO shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, the UFO shit, it's really UFOs, yada yada yada. But what they call them now, like UAPs or some shit?
UAPs, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like what is it? Unidentified.
Aerial phenomenon.
That's exactly what it is. Okay, that's right. Aerial phenomenon. Like what the hell?
Right.
That shit is bananas.
Because they can't say what it actually is.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean?
so they started off with that. And then I guess when they had the alleged and I always say alleged because we never know what's going on and shit. But they
Right,
had
right.
the alleged whistleblower that was talking about the actual alien that had an actual non-human body and shit. So
And this was at like court, Supreme Court or the Pentagon or some shit.
it was somewhere to keep it a stack. I don't even know where they was at, but I know allegedly they had like some government officials that corroborated the story to a certain extent. I guess they were saying that like, yeah, they were aware of the non-human form bodies type shit. So that's the part that they ultimately confirmed. And I think that that's the only thing that people needed to hear in
Right.
order to say like, yeah, it's up type shit. Like, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right. So I guess the believer aspect of it is in a sense. But what do you think? Like, because we ain't never, we ain't out of all the podcast shows we didn't have, we ain't talk about no aliens for sure. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know ultimately where you stand with the aliens. What's your, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, you just now
what's
said
your,
it. I'll stand with the aliens.
you stand with them, huh?
Nah, well, it's crazy, man. What was it? I think it was 2020. If not 2020, it had to be 2019. And I had caught some shit on camera, streaking across the sky and shit during a storm.
Mm,
And everybody's a skeptic, right? So some people was like, yeah, that was the light that was hitting off your side from the other side, going to bouncing off your car, then shooting across. And I'm like, bro, there's no possible physical way that can happen. I done looked at this from every angle just to make sure that I'm not tripping. I'm not gonna put misinformation out there type shit, like, you know what I mean, and just have people just try to say it's stamp. So, but then I had people actually, because I put it on YouTube and on some Facebook channels
right.
and or pages, I'm sorry, and they was freeze framing this shit, and you can actually see it like clean as day, like it's two different things that shot across the sky. So on
Right.
the UFO type of time, that was still considered a UFO because I don't know what the fuck it was. Don't nobody know what the fuck it was. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
But I guess it's an aerial phenomenon. It's a UAP right now, right?
Right,
But
right.
in terms of going down to the alien aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say yeah, man. And the reason why I say yeah, uh, I guess you want to say is because I know as far as spiritual alchemy and shit, right? Or just
Mm-hmm.
taking your mind outside of the third dimension, you know, what else can the body do? Like, you know what I mean? It would have to it would have to make that same transition because the body follows the mind. Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
um I think that if we make a transition from this plane right here and we're elevated, then we can ultimately become what they are. It's just changing physical forms, like, you know what I mean? But it's driven by the spirit and shit, like, you know what I mean? So it just depends on where it's at, and not only the spirit, because they say that the AK, the alleged extraterrestrials are highly intelligent. So we're talking
Right.
about a spiritual transformation and a mental transformation as well. So I don't know, man. I think that that shit is possible for sure. And I fuck with it. So if I have an understanding of us elevating spiritually and mentally, then hell yeah, that shit got to pop.
Yeah. Right, right, right. Yeah, I could definitely see that. especially from that perspective. We talked about this before on the type of time as far as like higher intelligent type species or entity out there. You know what I mean? Like, is that separate from you and what you are? You know what I mean? Like, and who you are in a sense. And
Right.
for me, yeah, like, nah, it wouldn't be nothing separate. You know what I mean? You got a lot of you got a lot of I remember back when I was just going through my awakening phase of, just hella deep ass research, and you start looking at the moon landings and shit like that and certain stuff that other people were saying about it. And I forgot which
Yeah.
Apollo it was. I think it was 11 or 12, but when they came back and they got videos and pictures of all the astronauts and how they were sitting there at the press conference because it was like they couldn't really talk about the shit that they seen when they was up there.
On
You
the
know what I
mission.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just, when you start really looking at just a lot of the different things that's out there when it comes to extraterrestrial, or, you know what I mean, a being that doesn't look like us, you know what I mean, that still has certain types of intelligence. Um, I don't know. Like, it's like, okay, you see, I mean, and that's another thing, like when you in nature, you see a lot of different species of things that have a certain type of intelligence, you know what I mean? So you definitely
Right.
can't say that's too, far down the road to be true or something, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well, um, no, would you done?
yeah, nah, yeah, you good.
No, because I was gonna say, like, I was bringing up octopuses to, to people and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in my mind, even though the ocean is, connected to this physical plane, in my mind, because we haven't reached the bottom of that motherfucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
We really know what's down there and where these things are coming from. Like, you know what I mean? Because octopuses look kind of funny, my nigga. Like to keep it a stack, like, you know what I
Hey, but
mean?
hey, that's crazy that you brought up octopus though, because uh I mean, they one of the most intelligent things in the water, for real, for real. You know what I mean? And a lot of
Mhm.
people say that they do have some sort of, you could say, like extraterrestrial, like they're not from here in a sense, like originally. A
Yeah,
lot of people that say that about octopus. But I mean, just think about it. If they lose one of their they can grow their tentacle back. Well, what type of shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? You
man in
gotta
black.
know to regrow your shit back. Like, that's on some whole other shit. You know what I'm saying? That's like you losing a pinky and then just growing that, like knowing how to grow that motherfucker back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah.
on some whole other shit. They can survive out of water, in water, like, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers walking on land, like it's crazy, bruh. It really is
All type
crazy.
of shit. And then I don't know, just how I don't know, man. But
But
in
look,
terms
check this
of
out though. Somebody told me he was like he didn't really believe it because um he's like, yeah, man, you telling me that these UFOs or UAPs can travel intergalactically through dimensions and, you know what I'm saying, warp speed, probably through black holes and wormholes and all that shit. Then they get to Earth and crash. And I
hey,
was
you
like,
wanna know
damn, that's
what?
kind of a good, you know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck they finding all these crashes? Like, what's up with they shit? Like, is they technology flawed when they get to Earth? Or like, how the fuck can they, intergalactically travel? But then when they get here, all of a sudden they machine break down and, you know what I'm saying? We find the remains and shit.
Hey, that's funny as hell. I was talking to somebody about that same type shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, them niggas probably drinking fly and shit.
Them niggas in there swerving and shit.
They got some whole type of different alcohol type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Them niggas be
I'm like,
lit. Like, oh
yeah, they get, hey, this that free will planet, you know what I'm saying? So they could get down here and get to doing all types of shit.
man.
Nah, but
Oh, some
nah, real
badass
shit. That's just,
aliens stealing their mom's fucking spaceship and shit. Like, niggas.
hey, let's go to Earth. Let's slide to Earth, man. And you feel me? Get down there and get jiggy. Nah, that's funny. But yeah, nah, it did make me think, like, yeah, like, how the fuck is that? Like, why, they finding crashes and like, why they gotta crash on Earth? You know what I'm saying? Why they can't land that motherfucker? Like,
It's limited.
I don't know, but Antarctica. I mean, you hear a lot of shit, man, about different UAPs or UFOs in the sky that people can't identify. Um,
Yeah.
do you
See,
know anybody that's seen a being that wasn't human?
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where it's at, man. Like, because we again, and that's another reason why I brought up like the octopus and shit, right? Because that still has that form, and just like you said, it can live both in water and in air. Like, you know what I mean? So it's somewhat similar in my mind to being like, okay, well, if it's like a UFO type shit or an alien type shit, they could probably do the same thing. But anytime that we see those pictures depicted, there's never been a confirmation of that. I don't think nobody has actually seen. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know if them photos be doctored and shit though. So that's the thing. But
Right.
I will say, I was talking to after I made a post on Facebook and shit the other day. Somebody said that they was actually being, I guess you want to say, studied by extraterrestrials and shit, right?
Mm.
And she said she woke up. It was like some acupuncture type shit, and she said she woke up with all types of, I guess, acupuncture scars on her body and shit type shit. Like, you know what I mean? So, I didn't get into ask her, well, what do they look like? Like, you know what I mean? Because
Right. Right.
I was more into the story as opposed to seeing like what their physical shit looks like. But um, I wish, and she probably watching this shit right now too.
Hey, you hear a lot of stories like that though, like the abduction stories and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
being
but that's
abducted and being on some sort of surgical table and having something done to you. And some people say they didn't got implanted and all types of shit. You know what I mean?
right.
And
So
I
it's
didn't
like
seen because I didn't seen some crazy shit in the sky and all type. You know what I mean? Like, but I ain't never seen though like what you were saying, like that alien
well,
depicted, the big
right,
eyes
right.
and the, you know what I'm saying, bald gray type. Like I ain't seen that. I ain't seen nothing like that.
Big eyes, small nose, skinny than a motherfucker. But
Now let me. Okay, no, go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
no, go ahead. My bad.
I was gonna say like, even in a dream, have you contact with like like at least the alien type of depiction how they do here?
I'm gonna say no, but let me add something to that though, because you know how the subconscious works, right?
Yeah,
So,
true.
and I'm not trying to add to or take away from anything, but when you see images, being feed images, especially how movie and TV works, how you see so many frames per second, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just think about how much data your brain is collecting on a subconscious level about the depiction of what they look like. So even if you was to have a dream of something like that, it probably would still be on some Inception type shit. Probably. I'm not gonna say full fledged, but it's a possibility of that happening. But me personally, nah. Hey, I
See, but
dreamed of
look
I
though.
seen white Jesus in my dream though. White Jesus pulled up.
That was Caesar, my man. Caesar Borgia done pulled up on you. now that we got to talking about the subconscious and shit, and just the image within itself, like, you know what I'm saying, like that imagination type shit. Like if you can see it, then in essence, you know what I mean. Like it's a part of reality.
Definitely, definitely. And you know, um, it's kind of funny to just think about it on that type of time because me personally, again, going back to raising your awareness, consciousness, and shit like that. Um, I think that sometimes if they see you doing some shit that's outside of, I guess, the norm, then that's when they'll come pull up on you type shit, or let their presence be known, or they finna come see you about something. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's why when people say that they have those alleged dreams when they're, either probing or, trying to get like some type of information, they're just trying to figure out, okay, well, why is this motherfucker going through this type shit or whatever? Like, you know what I mean? If that's, the case. I'm gonna say alleged because I haven't witnessed that. Like, you know what I mean? So I can only take somebody's testimony as their truth and just accept it like that type shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But it's just like,
no, what was you saying?
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I can't think of a time where I was in my dream where I seen an alien like that. And I done seen some crazy, like you probably done seen some crazy shit in your dream too that wasn't human. You know what I mean? Whether you was getting chased by some shit or you know what I mean? So it's like you can't just at this point. It's funny because it's like when when you take yourself back to like when you was a kid, you know what I mean? And when I was a kid, I used to think about all type flying cars and jetpacks and you know what I'm saying? Spaceships and aliens and you know what I'm saying? Your mind is like open, you know what I mean, to imagine whatever the fuck you want to imagine and bring into reality or whatever. And so looking back on shit like that and then now we got jetpacks. They got flying cars. They got, you know what I'm saying? Shit that they didn't have at least when I was, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't whether they was working on the shit or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like they didn't have the shit out. Cars that run on water and all types of shit, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just when you start to realize all these things that we imagine, and yeah, they might not be here right now, but like you were saying, the spirit come before the manifestation of those thoughts. So to all this alien shit is like, hey, okay, yeah, aliens is we got aliens out here. You know what I mean? Because back then they wasn't on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden they done switched or flipped the switch. Like, you know what? Yeah, we did find some shit. We've been finding a whole bunch of shit. This shit flying around. We don't know what it's called. We're gonna call them UAPs or UFOs. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, all right, so now where's the limit? You see what I'm saying? Like, cause it's like all these caps when you was little. Oh, there ain't no flying this. There's not this. There ain't that. There ain't that. There ain't this. There ain't that. But then now it's like there is this. There is this. There is this. There is. So then it's just like, all right, where is we going? You know what I mean? Because they done dropped a lot of shit within a short span of time when it comes to just technology. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that
shit, it's because I used to always think like if they're, and when I say there, I'm just saying like I guess you want to say like the people who's pushing Area 51 and let's just say Hollywood, let's just say certain people in positions of power that have something to do with the media. Where would they get the idea of the depiction of this alien type figure? Like, you know what I mean? What sparked that in the mind? Like, you know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say?
Right.
Because it's just like, are they grabbing shit out of thin air and then feeding it to people just to have our imaginations going, or is it something that was really actually documented and they just wanted to they have to find a way how to tell the people, so they started putting it into movies and started putting it into like just a little bit here, a little bit there, and just like you said, like with the advancement of where we're at right now in life and both in society, it's just like well, damn, they might be ready to hear some shit, like, you know what I mean? So it just depends on where people are at with it. But I used to always think like well, why would they just come up with this shit just out of thin air, just to just to push that line? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where does that come from? Like, you know what I mean? I would love to see where the original or do my homework on where the original thought came from, and then see if it's a snowball effect or was it just other people that was corroborating the same story without having that connection like that type shit.
Well, I think they got alien like what is that? Not sculptures, but like actually, encarved in stone in certain ancient civilizations. Like that face, you know what I mean? Like that same depiction. You got slight variances and shit, but like for the most part, you know what I mean? It's like alien depictions on certain structures.
And then you say we talking hieroglyphs right now, right?
Yeah, hieroglyphs, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, because that shit, and I mean, that's what I'm saying. It could get a little tricky because it's just like, where did they get it from? Or did they actually see it and then it was a reintroduction after that civilization of people, passed, and then they had to come reinsert the situation? Like, you know what I mean?
Right, right. What's up,
'Cause that's
China? Serious? What's poppin'? Cheers to the aliens. Do you believe in aliens?
yes. What's popping, lady? Oh, shout out to Lionhead and shit too.
Lionhead in the building. Peace to the God.
He said Lionhead. Hey, Lionhead got beats. When y'all hear my and I'm gonna go off subject just real quick. When y'all hear this project and every beat that I'm sorry, the beats, the videos, the songs that I'm about to put out, or the project that I'm about to put out, that's all Lionhead right there, DJ Lionhead. So you know what I mean. That's who produced basically my whole new project that I'm gonna have put out called Life is Music is Life. So be on the lookout for that shit too. Got a couple singles out, but Lionhead on the beat was popping.
Yes, sir. Definitely tap in with bro. He said, I forget what temple it was, but they have some alien faces carved in the walls. Yeah.
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 So, and again, like but from there, I'ma still say alleged, because it can still be a level of symbology. I'ma only say that part, right? I'm gonna just say,
Okay.
it could be some symbology type of situation, but and then that could have been taken from there, and then highly ostracized, just like I said in the mainstream media. But then again, that shit could be fucking real. Like, you know what I mean? They could be like, nigga, this is what we seen, and we got the best. What you call them niggas?
Yeah, right.
We got the best
Sculpture.
stone.
Oh,
Yeah, that nigga was on point. Like, hold on, nigga, stand still.
right. Stupid. I got it. All right.
All right, it's cool. Get your spaceship. It's all good. I'll send your people my bill. Like, throw that up there.
Outside of what my pop said about life on older planets, other planets. Look at how dope planet Earth is. I definitely got a question. Is there something doper? Humanity can't be the creator's best work. Yeah, see?
Ooh, that second one. Hey, throw that
Hey,
second one.
wait. I already knew. I already knew. Humanity can't be the creator's best work. You see how I try to
Ooh, yeah, nah, man. We gotta
down.
talk about that. And the reason, let me say this, because I love that you said that, serious.
But wait. Okay, just tied in with this real quick. The pyramids, they say aliens built them motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, humanity can't be the creator's best work, and aliens is building shit over here on our planet. Well, I don't know. I'm just, you know what I'm saying. You see where and then they say we didn't do it, but they say that the aliens did it. I don't know.
I got a documentary that I watched. It's like a fucking 3-hour documentary, and it's still all alleged type shit, but they make the pyramid building shit make sense like a motherfucker. I'm talking about down to the cubic foot, and this being or the king at the time's foot was actually what made it, what we to know as a foot and all the shit. So they went from there and they built the whole fucking pyramid. And I'm talking about, I was like, nigga, and they break this shit down thoroughly to where it's just like, oh shit. But I'm still skeptical about it. But I will say this, and I will ask this: if, and this is rhetorical for the most part, but if they're a greater creation, right? What business do they have seeing what we got popping?
What interest do they have to pretty much come here?
Yeah, I mean, not for the land. I'm not saying like the land is the land, but I'm saying like, you know, just like I said, I've talked to people that said that they had got kind of like studied on or, you know, probed or, you know what I mean? So what would be the purpose of that if they're already where it's at type shit? But then again, on the other side of that, just like what I said earlier, if you're putting out a different vibration other than what they're used to, then that's why they might come and do they fucking Dougie. But I will say, I was talking to somebody again the other day, and it's just like, do we think that we're not aliens to somebody that might be on a lower vibration than us, or on a lower, you know, non-3D situation? Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of see where she's at with that, but it's just like, you know, what would make us, I guess, not the best work? What is it? Is it a level of intelligence?
No. I'm trying to make her a moderator. I ain't never did that though before. Like how to make somebody a moderator. I seen it on here before, but
yeah, no, that's something different.
let's see.
Hey, let me throw this up real quick, Lionhead. Let me throw that up. He said, I think they say aliens build the pyramids because they don't like that an African country is so advanced. I think he meant to say continent or country, the part of the Africa. He's right. Is so advanced in the past, they can't even duplicate what they did today.
Yeah, exactly.
I fuck with that. Because that also, you know, makes sense. Like if they don't want to give motherfuckers prop, and I hate to say it like this because I'm not racist, but just how they put out like a white Jesus, like, nah, Jesus can't be black, nigga, he white. Like, you know what I mean? So, and then the movies that they put out type shit to where it's just like, you know, they're discrediting certain shit in order to push a certain narrative. So I understand that shit like a motherfucker.
See, and now my head is fucking just going right now because I'm like thinking on some, you know how time work, right? And that's another thing though. Like you start adding different sciences and the understanding behind all of this shit, it just brings in a different, like picture on some, like when you think about us and you look back 100 years, you know what I mean, 200 years, and you see all the different progressions and how much we done advanced. If you was to say point going forward, shit, just go shit 1,000 years, 2,000 years. Our planes ain't gonna look the same 1,000 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Our all our shit, our cars, the way that we even around on this plane may look 1,000 times different than right now. We may have some shit to where we actually understand. We get to the point to where we understand time and can time travel. You could say time traveling in a sense. You know what I mean? But to the point where it's like, I don't know, when you start doing that, that's why I'm like, this whole multiverse shit and how they dropping all that shit in the movies right now, like that shit for real on some interdimensional, how like time. And so just thinking about it, it's like we could be them people that's at a way, you know what I mean, higher level.
Yeah, see, let me add to that too. So when we get somebody that's I want to say this carefully. When we get somebody who's advanced, right? Allegedly advanced, it would say that they're ahead of their time, right?
Right.
And so that's equivalent to saying that they're living in the future already. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So everything is already in the future, but their body just still here in the present time. So you know, in my mind, that's still a level of time travel if you're ahead of your
Exactly.
time. You know what I mean? Because it's just like
Fact.
I'm already like on some Andre 3000 shit. Like I'm already in the year 3000. Like I'm not even where it's at right now type shit. Like you know what I mean?
That's a
So
fact.
uh and that's what I'm saying, man. So when it comes down again to the level of intelligence, I believe that would still constitute what we look like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say for instance, if we look at, I've seen some people refer to Elon Musk like that nigga's an alien. Like, you know what I mean? On that type of time, because the way that this nigga think and how he move and the shit that he put together is just like, nigga, you're not a regular motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, you know, just having that level of an advanced mind is gonna take you there. But again, going back to what you said, we still don't see motherfuckers outside of human form though.
You're right. And Sirius, she said in design, not in intelligence. Well, I guess that's all of it. The way that it's designed. I gotta go back to what you said.
Yeah.
Humanity can't be the creator's best work. And then she said, I mean in design.
So I mean, well, when we talk about design,
It would have to be any well, you know what I'm saying? Any design from the creator would be the creator's best work.
it would have to be. Unless that's what I'm saying. Like, unless you just on some nigga, I'm finna these niggas is the what they remember
That's
that
when we
episode.
get back.
Remember that episode?
That's
Some
what
of
we
you niggas is piss pots, nigga, but these
Yeah,
niggas
right. These my niggas right here. Fuck you niggas over here for real.
these the
Like,
chosen few.
no, we still lit. We still lit. That's why they traveling here, like what Woon was saying earlier. You know what I mean? Like whether no matter whether it's the planet or the beings on the planet, because it's all the same shit. You know what I mean? They come in here for a frequency of vibration that we put off on this plane.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know what
It
I
would
mean?
have to be that for sure.
So humans have fallen a lot over the past couple of ages. Apparently, we didn't need language at one point in time. Yeah, I mean, when you just look at pyramid shit, that was on some whole other shit, harnessing and like on some, where Elon got all his shit from, Tesla, and then where Tesla got all his shit from was all about how you can literally harness energy from the planet freely. Everybody can have, you know what I'm saying, all this shit for free for real. But
Let
it's
me
just
let
the
me
understanding of that higher level of how this shit really works. You know what I'm saying?
definitely let me say this. And I'm glad that because you know I just now picked up on what I'm gonna say because serious, right? Uh, so Sirius, referring to Sirius B, right? And we're talking about the Dogon tribe and shit, right? So now I understand uh I want to say this carefully. I understand the people who when we didn't have, you know, as much technology as we had, and they were star watchers and they, you know, sun worshippers and all the shit. So they're able to see, you know, and be on the star map, right? They're actually just looking at different stars and shit, seeing what's popping and seeing how they move and see, you know, all the little shit. So, and I haven't went this far deep into the Dogon tribe and shit, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, do we say, you know what I mean? Do we say that some higher intelligence beings came and, you know, from either Sirius B and came to come swoop down upon them and say, hey man, we finna teach y'all the game right now. This is that, and this is how the shit is mapped out and all the shit. Or was they just that much tapped in with the heavens or with the stars and shit, or with astrology or astronomy that they just understood this shit and was able to make that instant connection because they didn't have any distractions to make them disconnect from what they, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. All the ancient civilizations, when you look at them, their whole shit is built around the laws of nature. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything. It's not like we not. They wasn't. I mean, even when you look at the shapes of the buildings, that shit is
Yeah.
in pyramidal, circular, you know what I'm saying, domes and huts and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Right.
all the food they was getting, how they were able to map the earth without all of this tech shit. So you got to think all the tech shit like solar panels is symbolic to your actual skin. Like your skin is a solar
Ooh.
panel for real. You know what I'm saying? So
See,
like your whole body is tech. This is tech. Like this is quantum mechanics. You know what I'm saying? It's not just
yeah.
it's just and you can tell because if I fuck up on some shit, I learned from the fuck up, and then you feel me? I evolve past certain shit, and that shit goes with when you start tapping into the real shit, like nature, all the codes of nature, and all of that type of shit. That's that tech. That's that foundational tech that can give you all the keys to all everything. You know what I'm saying?
See,
So
and
as you
that part
start
right.
tapping into that, and your frequencies start to rise, like that shit's infinite.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
see,
saying?
so that's why I was kind of, about the not the best work, because if we are able to, and I'm saying, the people who have the opportunity to sit around and study nature and study why the bees make their honeycombs, in certain patterns and shit like that. For the people who actually have time to sit and observe nature, just like how you just now said, um, we would have access at that point. I mean, I'm not saying we don't have it now, but I'm saying we have access to, that divine, level of thinking. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
Right.
as long as you're able to tap into something that's going to give you definition to what that looks like, then we can say that level of things is coming from everywhere. But then also, just like you just said about the body being that, and technology is embodying the body, right? It's becoming a new body, which is what they're going to start calling in the future AI and shit, right? So well, I mean, they're calling it that now,
Right.
but when it comes down to that, it's just like, the body is that. Nature is that. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? So as long as we're able to make those connections between the differences or the indifferences, then it's just like, okay, so what are we talking about at the end of the day? So,
Yeah.
it gets a little tricky unless we're talking about their bodies have a certain language, and I'm going to say body language, but I'm just going to say from what you just now said. So their body may give out a certain different level of technology that's going to be advanced, and that's probably why their technology is advanced, because they have a whole different physical body and shit,
Damn, bro. Because
but still
hey,
coming from the mind.
that's what I'm. Hey, and that's what I'm like when we talking about consciousness now, being
Right,
able to inhabit all of these different vessels. What's a vessel? Anything manifested physically. You
definitely.
know what I'm saying? Like literally.
Yeah,
So we you can say are utilizing a vessel for a specific reason or a specific purpose to learn and evolve, or you know what I'm saying, to be whatever, experiment. And then when you jump out this motherfucker, whether you think that that is the case or not, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, heaven or hell, whatever, wherever your mind is at, you know what I mean. But when you jump out this motherfucker, what's next? Like what's popping? You finna is it on some, oh, okay, you did this well in this body, now you can upgrade to Alien 2.0.
I'm thinking that's how it works. I'm thinking that would have to be the level to the shift, right?
Right, right.
Um, but while we're there, um, and I hate to just go on that type of time, but religiously, right?
Hmm.
If we're talking about that
That's
now, what does this bring forth, right? Because there's a lot of people who would say like, nah, it ain't popping like that, and if it is, it would be like some type of fallen angels and shit like that. But you know, does this change the way that people are going to start accepting religion? That would have to be a part of the conversation. as well as in the church.
Yeah, definitely. Like, cause that was one of those things I remember. Just even coming through certain stuff, I remember that was one of those things you may ask, and it was like, well, we don't know yet, because whenever that day is, when it's time to find out, it's like, okay. But for me, I'm like, all right, yeah, we have to touch on that at a whole nother podcast, because that's gonna take some time to break down. We're gonna have to have some people
Yeah,
in the building, and you
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah, yeah.
But we definitely have to touch on how does intergalactic shit traveling and a lot of the other things that people at one point didn't think was either possible or could happen or whatnot. But uh now that we see that, you know what I mean, it's a reality, how do we incorporate that within the Bible? That's definitely a question I have.
Yeah, and I'm gonna touch this real quick, and then we could spin the block off.
Yeah.
But for the people who saying that they were fallen angels and things of that nature, I don't think that there was a fallen angel story that had a spaceship that was attached to them coming to Earth, right?
Mm,
Um, I think that they
that's one.
was, you know what I mean? I think that they either was still able to fly on some angel or angelic type of shit to where they still kept that part of their body and was able to just, manifest their self into a physical form as far as what humans is concerned, tall or not. But they didn't depict any type of spaceships. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a different situation to talk about when you're saying that these quote unquote aliens that's supposed to be out right now are fallen angels, because why do they even need to have a spaceship type shit?
Right.
Like, so we gotta talk about
There's a
that.
lot of questions. There's a lot of
Yeah, I
questions.
don't want to go in too deep, but we got to talk about it if we're gonna talk about it on that level.
It's a lot of questions, you know what I mean? So that's gonna be one of these, be on
Yeah,
the lookout for that, because we definitely gonna come with that for sure.
hell yeah.
What she say? She said, okay, let me correct myself. I think at some point humans were amazing technology, but I don't think humanity is the best. There's definitely more advanced beings out there. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Yes, there are more advanced beings out there, and then there's also less advanced beings out there, I would say. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like that
How
whole
do,
thing. Nah,
no,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Okay, because I was gonna say how do we scale advanced, more advanced or less advanced? How do we scale that? How do we put that on a scale?
Yeah, because she said we were amazing technology. So at some point we was good. You know what I mean? We probably was the best. How I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Then she's like, but then I don't think humanity is the best. But at some point, we were amazing technology. But it's like the best. What? Yeah, like.
I read that in your voice. Hey,
Uh, but nah, for real though, like what is the scale? Like, that would be subjective, huh? For surely.
I'm only asking that question because it pertains to where you're at, right? I can say that I'm more advanced than somebody in writing children's books because they probably have went through some of the steps, but they haven't completed it. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So now I'm just comparing my completion to their incompletion type shit. But as soon as they complete it, then now we're on the same advancement. Like, you know what I mean? So it just depends on how we're looking at it. And I would say that um I don't know, man. I think that all things are advanced as they should be in the now time type shit.
I mean, you see it in movies where it's like you know, they go to a planet that used to be one of the most powerful, you know what I'm saying? Used to be the best planet. Everybody knew about them and shit. And then something happened, they lost something, and then, you know what I'm saying? They back down at the bottom. They don't got no tech or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Like, I
Oh,
mean,
okay,
you
yeah.
see it on a big scale, on a small scale, micro, macro, things that are flourishing and shit, or everything come to an end. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be the number one ruler the whole time.
All
Somebody gonna
time.
come and snatch your shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, like at some point, you got, you know, a being that may reign supreme or be, you know, have a certain type of advancements and intelligence and tech and all this shit. But then at some point, that shit, something gonna happen. Somebody else gonna emerge. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's just a part of the cycle. You know, you go up to
All my
come back
life,
down to
I
come
was
back
just
up.
about yeah, I was just about to say that because like if you're I mean, not if, because we're all on this circular situation. So this time that it come around, you might be this way. But as it's moving, you're still kind of moving. So now when it comes back around to you, it's lit.
Hmm.
It is gonna come. So the people that are behind you are going to be in front of you. You know what the Bible say: those who will be first shall be last, or some shit, and those who was last shall be first type shit. So it's just like, you know what
Right.
I mean? It just depends on how people look at it. But
Ah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
yeah.
How our hands and feet, remnants of webbing, to imply we were aquatic at one point. So that just imply, yeah, like some
Oh
sort
yeah,
of evolution. That's how I'm looking at it. Some form of evolution.
at that point in time, it would have to be. I had to look at my hands and shit real quick. Like, hold on,
Hey,
nigga.
but peace to the God, man. We got Krishna in the building.
Krishna, what's popping?
Yo, what's poppin', yo?
Oh
What's up
man,
with y'all boy?
chilling.
Chilling for sure.
What
We
y'all building?
right now we pretty much at the tail end of the aliens, talking about the aliens. So I know you got to drop something before we switch over to the
To the
Tyrone. They clone
Tyrone situation.
Tyrone bill,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Um, hell yeah, man. Shit. Me and Woon actually had a bill a couple days ago. I don't know if you brought up that at all. I wasn't able to watch yet.
Oh
To
nah,
see,
not yet. It was a great build though, for sure. Great build.
yeah. Damn, should I go through that whole spiel again, or y'all want to go to the Tyrone? Because that was a
No,
little
no,
bit of
no,
a
no.
secret.
You got enough time to get it in. Go ahead. You got it.
All right, I'm gonna try to make it quick, right?
mm-hmm.
Shit, I guess I hop back in because I don't know where y'all at in the conversation, but I guess I'll just share my story of when I had what I believe to be a actual alien encounter type shit, right?
Definitely.
Right.
So, damn, this is public, but I gotta give the whole context.
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna just say this: there was a psychedelic substance involved, so I will say that I ain't gonna be in details of what substance. But there
Right.
was a psychedelic substance involved, but I was the only one on it at the time. It was other people in the room, but I was the only one that was tripping.
Mm.
So I was in this room at these folks' house that I used to kick it with and shit. It was this white girl and her boyfriend, right? So it was a point in time in my journey where I was like heavily into the Anunnaki shit, like studying fucking the whole Anunnaki spiel. Anu, Inky, Enlil. I don't know if y'all familiar with those names and shit, but
Mm.
those is basically in the whole Anunnaki, which is this ancient Sumerian pantheon. This is their gods, basically, which they believe to be beings that came from outer space to Earth and shit. But anyways, I used to study that shit. I was on that shit heavy. I was teaching niggas about that shit, right? So at this particular time, I was tripping. But everybody else was sober.
Mm.
But I was teaching the white girl and her boyfriend about the aliens. I'm like, yeah, I'm talking about the government. These niggas is fucking aliens, reptilians. I'm talking about the grays. I'm talking about all that shit, right? So while I'm teaching them this, right? So, all right, to give more context, they house is out in like kind of like in the woods, like you got to drive down a trail to get to their crib, and it's just surrounded by land and shit. So we kind of secluded. It's just me and them. I'm talking to them about it's a dog there and all that shit. They little dog. So while I'm teaching these niggas about aliens, going into detail, right? Out of nowhere, we just hear like the garage door opening downstairs, and then somebody runs up the steps. You had to run up the steps to get to the room we was in. Somebody runs up the steps and start banging on the door like crazy. Boom, 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 boom. And we like, yo, what the fuck? So you already know, I'm thinking like, goddamn aliens, them niggas is on here. Right. I'm hoping that's not it, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, god damn. So anyways, we open the door, and it's this white boy. I hate to use these terms. I ain't trying to.
You good.
All right. So the white boy and shit. I don't know his name. But I seen him. He hung with them before. I seen him like one time before this, but I didn't know him. This nigga come through the door, panicking like a motherfucker. This nigga is like, yo, they following me. He like pacing back and forth. He grabbing his hair and shit. Like he really in a state of panic, right? Right. And I'm like, yo, bro, what's going on? Like, he like, yo, they following me. I'm like, yo, nigga, you gotta calm down. Like, what is happening right now? Who's following you? What are you talking about? And he's like, the aliens, bro. The aliens, they following me. I'm like, bro, hold on, bro. Hold on. First of all, you gotta calm down because you panicking and that shit ain't gonna make nothing better. Like you in a state of fear. So by you being in a state of fear, that's making you vulnerable to them. But if you calm down, they can't fuck with you. You gotta be stable. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving them advice to calm them down and shit. So he's like, oh, you're right. So he ended up calming down and shit, right? So I'm like, yo, so what happened again? Like, I'm asking to explain. So this nigga calmed down a little bit. He's still in a panic state. He's talking about how he was at the gas station. So I don't know what school he went to. He said he was in this class where they was learning about clouds and how to identify different types of clouds and stuff like that. So he was looking up at the sky, and he said that one particular cloud he could tell it wasn't real for some reason, right? And he could tell that it was something behind it. And as he looked deeper into it, he could really see that it was something behind the cloud, right? This is what he's telling us. So then he's saying while he's seeing this object behind the cloud, this black truck pulls into the goddamn gas station in front of him. And at that point, he gets paranoid, so he hops in his car and he leaves, right? Mm-hmm. But he said as soon as he leaves, the black truck starts following him and shit, right? This is what he's telling me. I can't confirm none of this part. This is what he shared with us.
Right.
But he's saying the black truck's following him. He not sure if they following him, so he turns down another road. Then they turn down that road too, and at that point, he just started going. Like, that nigga, he talking about he ain't know where else to come but to where we was at. Which I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you come here, nigga? Like, don't bring them niggas to me. But anyway, so after that, I'm like, bro, I think I asked him too, like, yo, bro, why would you come here, nigga? You should have went home type shit. But like, anyway, I'm like, yo, bro, either way, you gotta calm down, bro. Like, just relax. You good now? Like, ain't nobody following you type shit. Just relax and shit. So he like calms down, but everybody looking at this nigga, like, yo, this nigga tweaking. So mind you, just to bring back the context, I'm tripping, everybody else sober, and we all hearing what this nigga saying. He busts into the to the house while I'm talking about aliens is following him, right? So little weird shit started, how he walking around and shit, just I can't tell if the nigga high or not. The nigga eyes is red and shit. I'm not sure what he was on. But the point for me is that this shit is happening while I'm talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like manifested. So I got like a big ass crystal on and shit. Like I used to be on that wild shit, right? He's like looking at me, he's like, yo, man, what is that? That looks powerful. Whoa, all this white boy shit. And he asked me, he was like, yo, TC, this is what they used to call me. He was like, yo, TC, can you do me a favor, man? He said, create an energy ball, right? Formulate an energy ball and throw it at me. And I think it's gonna make me feel better, right? So I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I play along with the nigga and shit. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Start Dragon Ball Z in his ass and shit. And then I throw the energy ball at him. He act like the ball really hits me. Like, oh shit, right? Weird shit, right? I'm like, what is wrong with this nigga right now? So he's like, yo, I think that really helped. Like, so he gets up and shit. This is where it gets strange. This nigga gets up, mind you, the dog in the house is like following him around. He on his ass. Like, what is wrong with this nigga? So this nigga gets up, and he gets up. He walks over to the sink, and he puts water on his hands. Then he walks over to me, and I'm just sitting here. I'm standing up, just like, you know what I'm saying, just looking at him and shit. Nigga walks up to me, and it's like he gets into a trance state. And he just starts flicking water on both sides of my body. He's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing, right? And he's like, I'm initiating you into our intergalactic school of something. And I'm like, huh? Like, nigga, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Bruh, on everything I love, I'm looking dead in this nigga's eyes, right? This nigga, I can't even do it. He looks me in my eyes, and he slightly tilts his head to the side like a straight up alien. Like, it's like, I can't do it, bro. I look crazy. So this nigga, like, he literally was like, I can't do it. Some weird, like some possession shit, right? So when he did it, though, it was almost like he telepathically told me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost like whatever was in him knew that I knew about them, type shit. That was the message I received. So when he turns his head to the side, he leans forward and whispers in my ear, and this nigga just like, right? On everything, bro. And when I tell you, nigga, whatever he said, it was a real language. Like, it wasn't gibberish. Like, it was authentic pronunciation. But it wasn't Spanish. It wasn't Arabic. It was some weird extraterrestrial language. And when he did that, it sent a chill down the back of my neck. And I seen a vision of a planet. It was like some watery blue planet. And it's like, whatever he said, he transmitted to me the imagery of that planet, of their world type shit. And when he whispered in my ear, that shit sent chills down my neck. I pushed this nigga back. Like, I'm like, yo, nigga, like, yo, what the fuck? What did you just say to me, bro? Right. And it's like he taps out of trance. He like, huh? What are you talking about? I'm like, bro, what, like, for real, what'd you just say? Like, what language was that? He like, I spoke a language to you? What are you talking about, right? It's like he really was oblivious to everything that just happened. I'm thinking he tripped. I'm like, bro, is this nigga playing with me right now?
Right.
But he's really like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. And I'm like, all right, I just like, fuck it. All right, bro, whatever. Like, don't even worry about it. I told that nigga, like, bro, you need to just go home.
Right, leave me the fuck alone, my nigga.
Yeah, leave me alone, bro. But, nigga, long story short, nigga, that shit was weird. Like, I could tell that he was hijacked by whatever beings he said was following him. The fact that everybody else seen it too, he busted in the room while I'm talking about alien, like I'm going into details, I'm breaking this shit down to these niggas. Right. Then this nigga comes out of nowhere, whispers in my ear an alien language, talk about he initiating me into their society. It was some weird shit, bro. All right, so that was like one of the wildest alien encounters I had. But to make a long story short, because it's a little bit more after this, we end up leaving the house and shit and going to this little beach we used to kick it. That's like a beach/lake out here in Georgia. So we out there and shit. I'm kind of looking at everybody. It's like white people and shit, like around the bonfire. They talk
This
about
the same day. This all the same day.
It's the same day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they all at the bonfire and shit. They kicking it. They and I'm looking at these niggas. I'm just like, y'all niggas don't even know what the fuck this is right now. Like, I can just see, damn, y'all just in the matrix right now. It's all good. So I'm standing at the lake, at the water, just looking up at the sky because I'm kind of still like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I'm still the only nigga tripping. So I'm like, bro, these niggas don't even know what I just went through right now. Like, shit. So I'm looking up at the sky, and at this point, I'm sure that these niggas is real, like, because they just talked to me. They just tried to initiate me into their shit. So I'm open to communication. I'm open to communication and shit. So I hear these niggas telepathically talking to me from wherever they at. And they telling me the wildest shit. They like, yo, man. They was like, we really want you to join, our society. You're more advanced than the other humans. Just look around. They don't even know what's going on right now. They was like, if you just join us, we'll allow you to come onto our spaceship with us. We'll take you around the universe. We'll take you to our planet, and you'll have access to the cosmos. But nobody else would know. We'll bring you back to Earth whenever you want, but nobody else would know. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So these niggas is breaking this shit down to me and shit all day, to the point where I end up leaving the beach. I can't tolerate being around them because they not on the wave I'm on at this particular moment. Like, I'm on a whole nother frequency. So I end up going back to the crib. I'm like, damn. They were like, look, you want to be around these mundane, stupid humans, like you're better than this type shit. They like trying to convince me that, nigga, come with us, nigga, rock with us. Like, we on a whole nother level. We can reveal the universe to you type shit, right?
Nigga said you with that Morpheus.
Right.
Yeah, try to hit me with the more. That's crazy. Damn. Why you have to say that? All right. So I get back to the crib. I'm trying to stay on this frequency, so I'm tripping still, but it's like slightly wearing off, but I'm still there. But I end up rolling up, you know what I'm saying, smoking a blunt to try to keep that shit on, you know what I mean? So it won't, the weed helped me stay there. So I'm at the crib, and I'm like in the car still talking to these niggas and shit, and they revealing shit to me. I close my eyes. These niggas like, yo, we can make you rich. I close my eyes. These niggas, I'm in a money dimension. Like, all around me is like stacks of $100 bills and shit. The walls is made out of $100 bills. They forming into geometric patterns and shit. I'm seeing gold and bricks and shit like that. I'm just in the money dimension. They're like, nigga, this shit is just a frequency. We can give this shit to you, like, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is that you want. And I'm just like, I'm just listening to them. I'm not making a decision. And then they start telling me, they were like, look, this is how we gonna make you rich. We want you to write comic books about us. You're gonna create a whole comic series about us, but you can't tell people it's factual. You gotta tell them it's fictional, because the human race aren't ready to know that we really exist. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make it fictional so we can basically get the information about us to them without it fucking them up type shit, or without making them panic type shit. They telling me all type of crazy shit. Like, they revealed that nigga Stan Lee to me, the nigga who write Marvel. Is that Stan Lee? We never confirmed that, really. The one who Stan Lee. Okay. Yeah. They was showing me, they were like, yeah, Stan Lee, he know about us. That's why he makes all these movies. We transmit that information to him and all of that type of shit, right? So I'm like, God damn. But make a long story short, I don't know why I decided to do this. It just felt like the right thing in that moment. I just told them, I'm like, yo, I'm good. Like, whatever contract or agreement y'all trying to get me to agree to, I don't agree to those terms and conditions. I would rather, go on my spiritual journey alone, like on my own type shit. I don't want to be a part of y'all organization and shit. And they was like, you sure? Like, yeah, I'm good. then it was like when I disagree, when I made it clear I didn't want to be a part of it, it's like the communication just stopped. The niggas just went away type shit. But yeah, I know that was a long spill, but shit, I want to just come share that right quick.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna have to build on, you feel me, definitely further on some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some shit I can for surely drop in there on that type of time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we chopped it up about that too. Like, you know what I mean? So as far as my situation, I don't know if I made that public information, but just like you said, we can definitely bring that in. But it's
Right.
safe to say that so without a shadow of a doubt, I don't even want to say believe at this point. You would know
We know
that there are, quote unquote aliens that's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard a little bit of what y'all was saying earlier. I think because I was trying to set this shit up so I could come in here.
Yeah.
I think y'all was saying something about damn, what was y'all saying? Y'all was just talking about like how you said something about they come to you when you I think y'all said somebody they come to you when you're in a certain state.
Yeah.
Because go ahead.
It's kind of like damn near what you were saying in your story, to where it's just like, you kicking it with these mundane people, they don't know what's going on and all this extra shit. So it's just like, in my mind, like, you know what I mean? And I hate to throw the Bible into this shit too, but it's just like, don't cast your pearls amongst swine. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, go to the motherfuckers that's vibing on a certain type of frequency. I don't want to say higher or lower, but just a certain type of frequency that will allow them to say, you know, like it wouldn't be that much overbearing if they pulled up. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it's just like, we see your light shining, you got that beacon lit. So because your beacon is lit, we finna come pull up on you and see what it looked like, type shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yo, I be thinking that these niggas are interdimensional. Like, not that they don't have physical forms, but if they do, they did something else with their shit. Like, they on a different frequency with their shit. Because I always find it weird that, all the little moments, because I've had other situations, but they always seem like they come to a nigga when a nigga vibrating hella high, or a nigga on like a psychedelic or some shit. Why is it that these niggas pull up on you when you tripping? That made me feel like they tripping, like they on some type of psychedelic. Like they're interdimensional entities. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, bro. These niggas know something crazy.
I understand. I'm sorry, go ahead, so my bad.
I was just gonna say, for me, I always, at first, I'm gonna say it like this. At first, coming in contact with different, you could say, entities, right? At first, I was like, what the fuck is this? Where the fuck is these niggas from? Where, like, who, like, you know what I'm saying? All the shit. But then I got to a point where
who the fuck is these niggas?
Yeah, but I got to a point where, you like it becomes a part of you in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started looking at them as versions of myself. You know what I'm saying? And once I started doing that, then it was like me teaching myself. But then it was still on the type of time of like a high, you could say a more advanced version of myself is trying to teach me, you know what I'm saying, on that type of time. At least that's how I was looking at this shit. I wasn't looking at it like it was something else or somebody else. But I mean, at least not at the end, you know what I mean? In the beginning, I for surely was on that type of time. But
with that being stated, I forgot what movie, and my nephew had put me up on this movie and shit too. But there was a movie to where these, alleged or quote unquote extraterrestrials had came and made themselves be present to tell the protagonist in the movie about about the future. We're here to make sure that the future goes a certain type of way, right? And so with that being stated, you would have had to been there in that present time in order to know what's going to transpire, to know what's going to what's going to produce what the future looks like, type shit. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like what you were saying, it would be a you ahead of your time that's coming back in real time and telling you, like the type of shit that's popping.
Facts.
And even going back to what you just now said, Krishna, when they're ultimately telling you, like, hey, nigga, like, come fuck with us, some type of shit, like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be lit. But he was like, nah, I'm on my spiritual journey. So they backed up. But at the same time, it's just like, they could probably still see that you're going to still be on some extraterrestrial shit anyway, type shit.
Exactly.
Just like, all right, nigga, we gonna let you know that we see you, but it's still a process, and they don't like, because a lot of times, even us today, we see people and we see a certain level of intelligence in them, and we want to grab them on our team or advance them, or just have them come with us. And it's just like, but sometimes we have to also allow them to ride out their own journey. So with that being stated, it's just like, it can be aspects of ourselves, and that's what I was talking about earlier about the different dimensions. Like, if we're talking about us right now being on this 3D plane, and we have access to the 4D, the 5D, you know what I mean, and so on and so forth. It's just like, okay, well, maybe where you're at in your personal time, not what you talk to people about, not what you do, just like in your own mind when you're either meditating or some shit like that, then that's when they're like, that nigga's lit. Like, you know what I mean? But in your own spirit, they tell you you're lit. Like, think about this. When motherfuckers say, I want to be by myself, right? Right now, I'm by my computer. I want to be by myself. What are we sitting by, right?
Everything.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So that by myself is just like, hold on, nigga. If we really put that into deep thought of what that means when we say it, because we say it all the time, but we just think alone, right? But by myself. And the presence of
bruh, that's literally what we was talking about earlier, as far as like, that's what I was trying to get at earlier when I was talking about time and shit, and time traveling on a you could say on a physical scale, but that's ultimately like where it's at, you know what I mean? Like, traveling to the future, or like even now, like how you were saying, when you take, you know what I'm saying, a psychedelic, and you raise the frequency of your mind, and you start thinking on some, not only thinking, but being able to visualize certain shit that you wouldn't normally be able to do. That right there is that's a part of advancement of the technologies that we have, a quantum computer body type shit, of piercing through a certain layer of consciousness or understanding and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you start going and taking yourself to these other places that are at a higher frequency or vibration, and you're tapping into that and understanding that. And then you're bringing that shit back to this reality. And so those people, like you were saying, those people that you was coming in contact with, or those beings, are beings that are matching you on that frequency to give you the information. You see what I'm saying? And that's that higher perspective of yourself that's like, hey, bro, I'm here. Like, hey, this is some, you feel me?
let me add to that real quick, because that's hella deep, and I think I just got the confirmation of what we're saying right now. Nice. So when it's not only did I have experiences of communicating with extraterrestrial, that was more of an extraterrestrial encounter, right?
Right.
I've had other encounters while in a high state where it wasn't extraterrestrials. Like, I had an encounter where this nigga, what's his name, Jimi Hendrix, was fucking with me. Like, I seen Michael Jackson, I seen Jimi Hendrix, And it just made me think of something like, we are all oneself with different perspectives, different personalities, right? But ultimately it's oneself. So what if these different beings and shit, rather you could call it aliens, it could be like old deep niggas that have went on ancestors. What if these niggas is lucid dreamers? You know what I'm saying? This in that higher lucid state. And then when you become lucid, you can communicate with the other lucid dreamers.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is basically different versions of yourself. Like I am Jimi Hendrix. He's just me in another personality. Or I am the alien. That's just me in another frequency on another plane. Because we all are the dreamer. You know what I'm saying? It's only one dreamer having many different dreams.
That's dope that you said that. Because just like I don't know if you was online when I was saying and again I don't know if she's watching right now. Hopefully she is. But you know when I had put the alien post on Facebook and shit the other day, she had inboxed me and shit, and she was saying that she had what she would call the dream state. And from the dream, the alleged dream that they came and pulled up on her.
Yeah.
And what happened is that they were doing some type of acupuncture all over her body, right?
Yeah.
So and I'm just using that as an example, but in a nutshell, it's just like how many times when we advance do we study ourselves, right? You understand what I'm trying to say? So it's just like when it comes down to the level of reflection of when we're either about to make the transition from one state to the next, or we just made the transition from one state to the next, then a part of reflection always is going to be a part of that mathematical equation, because we have to look back to see where we was at to see where we're going type shit. Like, you know what I mean? So on that type of time, in our minds, we can look at it from an advanced point of view, which is why the physicality of the aliens or characters that play out in that mind and the connection would have to be something that we're not, in order to be something that we are going to become, right? Or you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And
So
that no, go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm just real quick. So just on that level, it's just like, so if we look at it, if we Jedi mind trick ourselves to it being something that's higher than us or outside of us, and now we have something to look forward to try to embody or to try to encompass this shit.
I was gonna say that ultimately is a perfect segue into they clone Tyrone. I swear to God, that was a cold segue into they clone Tyrone. I swear to God, that bro.
Let's go. But
hey,
Christian, hey, stay on. What are you busy tonight, Christian? What you doing?
Oh no, I'm chilling right now. We good.
Are you gonna kick it with us? Cool.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want to get your perspective on this movie, man. For real.
For sure. I got some perspective too.
Definitely.
Yeah. We can start with that for sure. I was just gonna put this disclaimer out there to anybody that's watching who hasn't seen the movie. You might want to come back because we finna get to breaking some shit down. I'm just saying. So if you ain't already seen it, just know we finna break some shit down.
Yeah, I'm very my bad.
Nah,
I'm very curious of what y'all perspective is on this shit, but I wonder if we thinking the same thing.
But just real quick though. Real shit. But just real quick, but based off of what Woon was just saying, what we was just talking about, the different versions of yourself, or it's all you, and sometimes you gotta go through something and then when you think about all the shit that happened to Tyrone, like all the different versions of himself, and the first one got killed off, then what'd he say? You gotta reflect. So then all the people was trying to tell him, hey, bro, your ass just got killed the fuck off. Like, this is what happened. And so he had to sit there and reflect on that shit. And then as he's just going through all of the different things and getting to understanding who does he come back to? Himself at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. But go ahead, Christian, bro.
Yo, hold on. Do you got it? You got this blown? Cause y'all look hella small right now. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
no, we back good. Yeah.
yeah.
So, well, how do I start with this shit, boy?
Real quick. Let me. Can I
Go ahead.
ask you something real quick? Because I
Yeah,
want you to
yeah, for
break
sure.
down. Because I posted the picture about the soma. So if was I kind of correct on that?
You was,
Okay, I
bruh.
just want to ask that. Okay, because
No,
I'm not too privy with Hinduism or Buddhism or what aspect of that was. But when I saw that in the beginning of the movie, and then when I saw it again when they was at the
when he
hotel,
first died.
exactly. But go ahead. I just want to ask that. Go ahead. You got it.
So fuck. All right. So the soma, right? I'm glad that you have pointed that out because it had that on my consciousness when I was watching it. So
Got
it
you.
actually, you know what I mean? All right. So fuck. I don't think nobody's gonna get the soma part because niggas don't really know about soma. So soma is an elixir of immortality in Hinduism that usually either the gods or the demigods or certain like sages and shit could drink. You know what I'm saying? It was a sacred drink that they could drink, right? And they cloned Tyrone. They had it as a soda, and it said keep them smiling, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. This go all right.
Lot to unpack, ain't it?
It's a lot to unpack. I'm gonna put it in my terms, and I
All right,
think
go
it's
ahead, go ahead, go
gonna
ahead.
of what I perceived from it. So Tyrone is you, it's us, right? It's the soul that's going through the spiritual journey, right? And as you progressing through the spiritual journey, it's gonna be versions of yourself that's gonna die. You understand what I'm saying? As you progress higher in consciousness until you reach the ultimate version of yourself, which I want to say the older version of himself that he had to kill at the end was, I guess you could say, like his ego. You understand what I mean? Meaning the part of him that was still attached, you know what I mean, to whatever, you know what I'm saying, that was attached to his lower nature, whatever you want to call it. He had to kill that final version of himself to free himself. You know what I'm saying? From the cycle.
Let me add to that. Let me add to that real quick and give definition to what you just said.
Okay. Okay.
Just remember real quick, and I remember say where you was at. But remember, the girl was just like, man, we need to change this, we need to do this, we need to do that. And then he was like, no, this is what I am. I'm comfortable being this. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And he accepted it at that point in time. But go ahead. And then,
right. Go ahead.
Yeah, but then like after then you know he was thinking about it. He's like, damn, this motherfucker was right, type shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Wait, you talk about the part of the movie where he didn't want to wake up no more?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go ahead. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead. You got it.
That was a crazy part to me because I look at that two ways, like the way you just described it, but also it's like it's the part of the journey where they call it the dark night of the soul. Like you go through that like almost like a depressed state. You like, fuck, bro, I don't even know where to go from here type shit. Like, do I even want to wake up? You try to go back to sleep. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then eventually you can't get away from it. Like you gotta continue, you gotta see it all the way through. But so I also see it in a way of like reincarnation, because it's like the nigga was stuck in a continuous loop. Yep. Every time he died, the new version of himself was still went through the same loop. Yep. And that's what this whole universe is. Like, nigga, we loop every year. Like when me and you was talking about, Woon, like we go through the same loop every year, you know, all the seasons, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know what I'm saying? The 24 hours of the day, we're constantly looping, but every time we loop, an old version of ourselves die and we become wiser, we become more conscious of ourselves. You know what I mean? You feel me? Now the soma, how do you tie the soma into all of this? This kind of fucked me up a little bit. So the soma in Hinduism is an elixir of immortality. But the form of immortality that it gives you, it allows it's physical immortality. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I hate that this could be a reach. This is just my perception.
Nah, spill it. We already there.
So this shit had me fucked up a little bit. Think about it. So in Hinduism, you got 3 levels of beings: the demons, the human beings, the human type beings, and you got the demigods or the devas. They all exist on 3 different levels of consciousness. The demons exist in the mode of ignorance, the humans exist in the mode of passion, and the demigods exist in the mode of goodness. Now, they always teach you that all 3 of these states are still within the illusion. Right. And you must get past goodness, passion, and ignorance and come into a transcendental state that's beyond all 3. But the demigods, they're in the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness is basically, hella good, meditating, doing yoga, you doing good activities. You're generating good karma. Like you're trying to be a good Samaritan in society. That's good. But it's still, if you get attached to that state, it's still an illusion. You got to go beyond being good and become whole. You know what I'm saying? Transcendental. So the soma, the demigods indulge in the soma. You know what I mean? Whoo! All right. The demigods indulge in the soma, which allows them to have physical immortality, which physical immortality sounds great, but really it's just keeping you alive in the illusion. I don't know if you have to peep what I'm saying.
No, that shit hit.
So now check this out. So if the soma in the movie was this drug that kept niggas happy, kept niggas alive in the illusion. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Keep them smiling.
Keep them smiling. So the soma is still a part of the illusion. It's niggas, everybody think they want to be immortal, but really the material world, you know what I'm saying, to just speaking from my perspective, is a miserable condition compared to the transcendental state. You understand what I'm saying? But
oh yeah, hey, okay.
You feel me? So, and now check this. This is how I put it all together. What was the word that controlled the clones? Black Olympians.
Black Olympians, yep.
What are the Olympians? The Greek gods. So what is a Black Olympian? Black gods.
Right. Exactly.
So is the clones is you. So the soul is Tyrone is he's the clone, you know what I mean? But
it's still you.
It's still you. You feel what I'm saying? So
it's an aspect of yourself.
Right. So basically the Black Olympians, the black guys, are stuck in a clone cycle of incarnation because they're addicted to soma. Oh.
hey, so wait, real quick.
I fuck with that. I didn't know you was gonna do it like that, but I fuck with that.
I definitely fucks with that. that was a deep one for real.
Yeah.
Now, remember at the end when it switched it up, you can see shit. What you want to call it? Woon the lip.
Exactly.
It switched it up.
Hey, real quick, stuff before you do it, real quick. I just want you to break down and not, just what the lip is to the people who may not understand what we're talking about when we say the lip. Just real quick.
So the lip ultimately is, like I said, I use a piece of toilet roll tissue or whatever because it has that lip that you peel off to start the roll or whatever. So each time you hit that lip, if you wasn't just to peel it and just roll that motherfucker, it would hit a lip every time. You know what I'm saying? That lip is the level up, ultimately. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go through the first circle or the second circle or whatever until you hit that lip. And then that's your process of, evolving past the first loop or, you know what I mean? Your evolution. But at the end, when it was all watching the news, exactly. And that top piece is the loop.
Right.
But yeah, at the end, when they was all sitting around, it had switched scenes. And then it was like a group of people all sitting around watching the news. And then the clone Tyrone was on the news. And they all looking at bro like, hey, Tyrone, nigga, that's you, bro. And then, you know what I'm saying? He was looking at it like, And then that's how it goes off. So I'm like, oh, they finna, you know, that's the loop right there. That's the lip, my bad. That's that
Yeah,
lip of a whole nother evolution or a whole nother experience or experiment. You know what I
for
mean?
the self.
For the self to reach that other, you know what I mean? What's the end of that one? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So
Mm,
that shit cold though. The way you broke it down, bro. That shit. I mean, ultimately, that's really where it's at for real. It's all talking
right.
about you, the evolution of you, um,
Mm-hmm.
and how they put it was cold.
Definitely.
Mm,
There was and I'm gonna just speak on this briefly real quick. There was because you know I just analyze life a lot and shit, right? So my first thing was you know, is life just an experience? And I'm just like, okay, yeah, the experiences sound cool and shit. Like, you know, we're just figuring shit out, seeing what shit looks like, and yada yada yada. But then I'm like, hold on, but because we're able to have that level of reflection that I was talking about earlier, it's just
mm-hmm.
like if we have a reflection, then that can give the possibility of life also being an experiment, right? Like, let's see what the outcome is going to be when we
Mm-hmm.
when we go put ourselves in certain situations and shit, right? So if we
Right.
look at it from an experience, an experiment,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just like, okay, so now we have to test. We test ourselves every day. Every day we test ourselves if we want to become something, or if we want to not become something, or if we want to advance and get this job. We put ourselves through a test in order to make sure that that happens. So, in a nutshell, that would still be an indirect way of saying that it is an experiment, but we have to have an experience in order to make that experiment work, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With that being stated, in the movie they put that out blatantly, like, you know what I mean? They're like, okay, we're
Right,
conducting
right,
this.
right.
This is how we do this. Okay, I see them doing that. Woody wah woo. But one thing that I did want to say, when they had the quote I guess the white substance, I don't know what they called it in the movie, but they had the white substance and they had it in the juice, they had it in the hair care products, they had it in the chicken, and they had it in I guess in the music as well, right? So so when they put it into, I want to say the chicken first. Remember, Jamie Foxx was telling old boy, he was like, nigga, I ain't never seen you laugh before. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was just like, yeah. Then he was like, hold on, wait, nigga, I ain't never seen you laugh type shit. Like, you know what I mean? So when he said it the second time, it kind of clicked. And then he saw everybody else that was in the fucking chicken shack or whatever they called that place. Everybody was laughing and having the grandest time, right?
Right.
Boom. So then when they were at the hair salon, right? And you know the hair salon, when females get their hair done, sometimes they put what they call a relaxer in the hair, right? So it's just like the chick was talking about, oh man, these bills and yada yada yada, and this is going on and all this extra shit. That relaxer kicked in, and she was like, you want to know what? Man, fuck them bills. Like, you know what I mean? So it immediately relaxed her and shit, right? Then they go
Mm-hmm.
into they show the shit with the church, and then, like, you know, instead of just being okay, yeah, sir, you know, everything was just Heavenly Father. It was none of that. Them niggas was in the church kicking it, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? They having a good time. Ain't nobody judging nobody. Everybody just up in that motherfucker just chilling shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they go into the club, like, you know what I mean, just with the level of music, and had everybody in a certain type of vibe to where everybody was doing things in a circle. The DJ was, you know, controlling through the music. Okay, do this in the circle, something in the circle, like, you know what I mean, going back to the cycle, what you was talking about, self, with that cycle shit. So it's just like, you know, and I'm just saying this for the people who said that it may be under a set of what we may look at it as on a surface level as mind control, and I get that aspect for sure. But
Right. Right.
if we look at it from a certain level, every depiction that they showed that substance was in, it actually made people feel good. Like, you know what I mean? To keep it a stack. But
Oh, I got something for that. We get go ahead.
I got you. When they went underground, I remember them showing they was playing music, and there was two dudes that was fighting each other in the same pod, and then they switched the frequency, and then them niggas was like, hold on, nigga, and then they start, like, you know, embracing each other and all this shit. So I'm saying that to say, like, you know, when it comes down, because we could look at it from, okay, this movie is just another movie that's talking about how the government does MK Ultra mind control and shit like that.
Right.
However, again, just like I was saying in the beginning, sometimes we can look at life as having an experience, which is ultimately, relatively true. But then again, if we look at it from a state of to where we have a reflection, or we're made in God's image, then we also would have to say that it's also an experiment to see
Right.
how we're going to behave. So
Right.
now the question becomes, and I posted this on my Facebook without trying to give it away, like, who is the they that they're talking about conducting these experiments and shit, right? And they show you in the movie that motherfucker is you type shit, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what that
Who
shit
keep
was like.
the government in charge?
Us.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But go ahead,
Yeah.
Chris. I know you want to say something to that. My bad.
Well, when you said the people was feeling good, would you say when they was drinking the shit, when they was on the substance?
Yeah. The white substance that they had that was put into the hair care products, to the chicken, to I don't think that they put it in the music, but they put it in every other aspect, probably besides the music, but it just made them feel a little bit more relaxed and laughing and enjoying life type shit.
Right. Just to add a little piece of knowledge to that.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you do control somebody is through their senses.
Facts.
And if you can make somebody senses feel good, then you pretty much got them. You got them. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what the pimping is. You know what I'm saying? You talking that sweet shit in a bitch ear, you making her feel good and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And you making her feel bad. You controlling her by her senses. You understand what I'm saying? But just because something makes you feel good doesn't make it good. I'm not saying you saying that.
I was just about to say that, but go ahead, my bad.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to put that piece of knowledge in there because what keeps, according to Hindu science, what keeps the soul in the cycle of reincarnation is our attachment to pleasure.
Facts. That part.
You understand what I'm saying? It's an oxymoron, it's a paradox though, because we indulge in our senses externally. You know what I'm saying? You eat food, you know what I'm saying? You have sex, you listen to music, and you get in all this illusionary external pleasure, but nothing's really external to you. So this is the illusion.
Exactly.
That you think that you gotta experience pleasure by going out to get the pleasure, when really the pleasure is within.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that in there.
At the same time, that's the process. You know what I mean?
It is
like that's
definitely
that part of that process of like, shit. We see it in real time, real world. You know what I mean? Shit, as far as people indulging in certain shit, and like that's just where they at. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. That's where their frequency lies, and that's a part of that process of, you know what I mean, hitting these lips ultimately.
Right. And that's real quick to talk about the process word. That's why kind of when we was in a group chat the other day, and Snag had brought up, the process, right? Because we have a procedural process, meaning, the time that it's going to take in order for something to happen. But process also means to take in a certain level of information, right? And this is going back to both the experiment and experience. The process, meaning the time moving and the different levels of what's going on, would be the experience. And then the process of you collecting data, of you processing data, would be the experiment, right? So at the end of the day, it's still two things that's combined in one. And we would have to make a smart decision, right? And it's going to be a split decision on what you think that this is, either an experience or an experiment. And then I think that because we are both spiritual and physical, or both carnal and angelic, that we would have to say that, that it will be a continuous fight until we come to understand, just like what you were saying, Krishna, when he was like, hold on, man, like I got to get rid of all this shit that I got popping. He accepted it for a quick second. He was just like, nah. She was like, man, bitch, I ain't gonna do this shit. Like, and she got the plan. Remember, she had threw on the fucking, she had threw on the hat, the glasses. She had
Yeah,
her whole
yeah,
little spy shit on. She was like, nigga, this ain't me right now. She tried to tuck and shit, and they came and got her. Like, you know what I
right.
mean? Like, hey, we ain't gonna just let you. You can't hide from yourself, type shit. Like, you know what I mean? So, the internal spiritual war is nobody's safe from, right? So they came and got her. They're like, yeah, if you want to fight, then well, let's make it a fight. Tyrone was just like, nah, I'm not even trying to fight. I'm gonna just back up, but let me just, see what's popping and shit. Because this is who I am. But then after a while, when he threw that 40 against, like, niggas don't even drink 40s no more. That nigga had a 40. That nigga threw the 40 against the wall, like, nigga, fuck this.
Right.
That nigga said, no, fuck it, we finna get this shit popping. So going back to what you said about the Soma keeping us in this state to where we're happy, we're docile, we're, I guess you want to say just acceptance of what we are in this carnal and not really trying to have this physical I'm sorry, spiritual warfare. Then it's just like, okay, so what does that look like? But then the spirit took over. He was just like, nah, fuck it. I gotta go ahead and make this what you would call the transcendental progress happen type shit, right? So on that type of time, it was just like, yeah, he felt it. But it's just like, again, and I'm just speaking from the devil's advocate point of view, to where it's just like, we understand that govern means control, mint means mind. So the government, would have a certain level of what we call mind control or MK Ultra mind control and shit like that, by way of experiments or just trying to see what's popping and shit. But at the end of the day, if we don't understand that it's self that's also doing it, the government only kicks in when you don't have control of self.
Exactly.
Right? So they only kick in just to add that level of, all right, these niggas ain't moving on this accord, and then they play the devil's advocate to push you into a certain level to where now, nigga, what you gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? But if you're tapped in on that type of time and you do that eternal work, aka the reflection of self, and say, you want to know what, nigga, man, let me go ahead and switch some shit up. Like, you know what I mean? So again, for the people who probably watched this movie and thought it was about, the government just targeting blacks to some shit, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, that looks good on paper. Like, you know what I mean? That looks good in terms of what we're conditioned to see. For whatever reason, black people are just the poster boy for that type of situation, especially here in America. However, if we look at it from an Eastern philosophy state of mind, now we're getting outside of the physical and going more into the metaphysical or even the spiritual at this point in time. So it's not a physical movie. It's not black and white. Like, you know what I mean? There's more colors to this movie than meets the eye. Like, you know what I mean? So when I just want them to look at it from a certain perspective. And it's like, I mean, and not, we can't force anybody to see it from how we're talking about it right now. But I think that they put shit out in niggas' faces. Like, you know what I mean? Me personally, just like when I reached out to you, I had to see what Soma was. And on my own type of time, I was like, nigga, what the fuck is Soma? They showed it in the beginning of the movie. And then
very beginning.
Made his transition and shit, right? Before he took himself off, like, you know what I mean? Or before he died and made that transition. So it's just like, okay, Soma in the beginning, and then Soma, because even in movies, you got a middle, beginning, and end. So in the beginning, and then when he made the transition in the middle, so it's just like, all right, we're gonna see what it looks like. But sometimes we're so symbol illiterate that we don't even know what's going on. We stay surface level because we're symbol illiterate. So we don't know. But it's just like, that's cool.
Oh my God. My bad, you dropping jewels right now.
Yeah, if that's where it's at, if that's where you're at mentally or even spiritually, then enjoy the movie. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, there is a plot against us. Like, you know what I mean? But if you look at it from
or is there
the warfare is eternal. And I'm gonna just say that. You could rock.
No, I want to respond to a lot of things you just said, but
that's why I stopped talking, because I want to say hella shit.
Nah, you were saying a lot of good shit though. Like it painted the whole picture of like the illusion of believing that there's a government that's in control of you, as if the government is something external.
Right.
That shit is not even true. But it's little ways we can prove this to ourselves. Like, okay, so say the government does put high fructose corn syrup in the sodas and shit like that. Nigga, you choose to drink the sodas. You don't have to drink the soda. If they are putting shit in the chicken, you bought the chicken with your own money.
Exactly.
Right.
So the government can do whatever they want. You don't have to participate. You choose to participate. You
ain't
can
even gotta vote.
drink. Huh?
I said you ain't even got to vote, but go ahead.
You ain't even gotta vote. You turn the drink. You could turn any drink around and read the ingredients. It's gonna tell you, nigga, red 40, a little bit of poison, high fructose corn syrup. You know what I'm saying? If you don't read that shit, nigga, that's your fault. But even beyond that, the government is just there. It's just like a placeholder. You don't have to. They're not really physically controlling you.
Right.
You can do whatever you want if you wake up to that. But if you want to be in a, what'd you say?
No, I just said that power.
Exactly.
Right.
It's all an illusion, bro, because it's just humans within the government. Damn, it's the whole thing is ran by self, bro. It is an experience. It's an experience and an experiment of self
right
on self. And depending on how you perceive the experiment is the level you gonna have your experience. Determines the level of your experience. You understand what I'm saying?
Right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a bar.
You feel me? So
what you gonna get out of it,
and what you gonna get out of it? Because it's a lot of good things about having a government. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the way that the America is set up, nigga. You can go outside and not get fucking shot. It's repercussions for that shit. Niggas provide you with jobs. It's different ways that you can look at it. So it's all about the level of consciousness that you perceive in your reality.
Yeah,
but
what's for you and what's not.
Exactly.
Ultimately.
Exactly. Damn.
You know, that's why it's again, like, you know, just on some forward thinking shit, even going, and I don't want to double dutch on, I don't want to go back to alien shit, but they could always, when I don't want to say always, but a lot of times they say that people say that they conduct experiments, like, you know, just trying to see, you know, what's popping with that type of shit. And then going back into the movie, they were conducting experiments. So it's just like, you know, what's ultimately what's alien to you? It would it be yourself?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you not, just like I said, when you say I'm sitting by myself, do you know the self that you're sitting by? Like, you know what I mean?
Your own, so you saying your own self can be an alien to you.
Exactly.
You feel me though? That's deep. Yeah, hell yeah.
So it's just like, this motherfucker that I'm sitting by right now, myself, is lit. That nigga's the one who's telling me, hey, nigga, woody wow woo woo. Just like how you said the alien was whispering in your ear and shit.
Yeah.
Like, this nigga be whispering in my ear and shit, like, hey, nigga, you know, woody wow woo woo. And you have a choice to either listen or not listen type shit. But if you don't listen, now, just like you were saying, now you have to go through the experiment, right?
Right.
Even if you do listen, let me say that. Even if you do listen, you have to go through the experiment or experience, because now it's just like, okay, I see what you're saying. But just like you saying in your story, it's just like, nigga, yeah, I hear what y'all saying, but I'm finna experience this shit for myself and collect my own data and be where I want to be at type shit. Like, you know what I mean? So
that's that all itself.
Hey, I was just gonna say that on my life. So when it comes down to that, it's just like it's about self, and not to say, and I don't, let me say this, because I don't want to say that and just touching the alien shit real quick. I don't want to say that that there may not be something that takes a different physical form outside of your mental, because your mental still creates a physical. So I don't want to say that there's not nothing outside of that that situation that you may have created in order to show you a different aspect of yourself. So I don't want to say that because sometimes we need to see something that's quote unquote opposite of us in order to see what we are, right? So
Exactly.
on that type of time, it's just like, oh, okay, I've seen some shit. Okay, but then what was the relationship of the shit that you've seen? Like what there had to be some type of relationship,
Hey,
right?
You
that's
know
why
why?
that
Go ahead.
nah, that's why I had used nature as an example because that's the
Exactly.
closest thing,
Exactly.
and you can honestly say, like, literally, only because we say that's a tree and that's a car and that's a bird is the only
Yeah,
reason why people don't look at shit like, damn, what the fuck is all of this shit that's around us for real?
Right.
'Cause, nigga, we don't really know what the fuck this shit is. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, we put titles and names and, like you were saying, symbology and all this shit to be able to recognize the reality that we in and be able to manipulate it and all that shit. But when you wipe all that shit away and you just look at it for what it really is, it's like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And then
oh man,
at that point, how they be saying, when you go and you sit at the trunk of a fucking tree and you just fucking sit there and admire it and just look at it and just be in that moment, you start to connect to the tree. That's an alien in my mind. You feel
Yeah.
me?
yeah,
That's an
Yeah.
alien that you're connecting with and getting information from and exchanging information from, to and from, to be able to raise your frequency or to get you whatever the fuck it is that you trying to, you know what I'm saying, get.
exactly.
And that shit's gonna go literally with anything on this plane, a rock, a bird, the ocean.
Right.
You feel me? Like, you can connect to all of these different codes and frequencies and vibrations that are on different levels, higher and lower, and be able to exchange and interact with this shit to either raise or lower your frequency and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yo,
I didn't even know, real quick, Christian, because I see you light up. I see you lighting up. But real quick, I just now had my first well, let me go into it. I just now being in Vegas is kind of different because you don't see a lot of tree life, like really like outside of like palm trees and shit.
right.
So when I'm on the road, I be going to Florida a lot. So I see going through Mississippi, going through Alabama, going through Tennessee and shit like that. I see like a lot of different trees and shit.
Yeah,
So I was like, man, I just want to pull up on one of these trees and smell this motherfucker. Like, I
right.
just smell. I'm talking about literally just smell a fucking tree and shit, right?
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna do that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, let me do that shit. I just want to smell it. I just want to just really, nigga, like smell this shit, right? And so that shit went from me just wanting to smell it. I'm like, you want to know what? Let me not just smell it. I'm gonna hug it. I'm gonna give it my energy too. Like I just don't want to snip it and just take its energy. I want to hug it and give some shit back, right?
Right.
So I did that, and it was kind of crazy because there was two intertwined trees. The first ones that I seen and shit, they was intertwined, but they had some big ass ants on them motherfuckers. I'm like, nigga, I'm not finna.
Yeah, yeah,
It's at night, so I'm like, nah, I ain't finna do this shit at night. And they probably finna sit and all type of shit. But then I found just this one tree because the other, as a matter of fact, the ones that was intertwined was pine trees. And so there was another tree that wasn't a pine tree and shit. I'm like, okay, check that motherfucker for bugs and shit. I'm like, okay, cool. There's like a little spider nest right there, but like the webs and shit. I'm like, all right, so that's cool. Boom. And I just held that motherfucker and I'm hugging this shit. And I'm smelling this shit. And I'm like, nigga, this shit is fucking crazy. Like, you know what I mean? On that type of time. And it was just blowing my mind like how simplistic it is. Like, you know what I mean? Just to say, nigga, I just now hug this motherfucking and I'm really having a relationship with this goddamn tree. And that shit just blew me. But going back to where we was at is just like, like so the reflection that I had is just like, nigga, just imagine I don't want to say ancestor, but like just like somebody in person that's just like, you know what I mean? Just like, let me come get a level of information of you just by way of touch. Like, you know what I mean? And I know I'm going off subject and shit right now, but that shit just that nature part just fucking blew my mind. It's just like, damn, that reflection is fucking crazy. But go ahead, I just want to insert that in there real quick.
Nah, I just wanted to confirm with Self was saying what we all saying about like Rather it being you call it an alien or not, it's all still self. I just got the confirmation of that because even with my alien encounter, as weird as it was, nigga, I summoned them niggas. I got on that frequency. I was talking about aliens all fucking day and studying that shit. So I proved that they existed to myself, and then I manifested that version of myself to myself. If I wasn't studying aliens and talking about that shit while tripping, they wouldn't have came. I drew them into me.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that is a relationship between that frequency of self, rather they got bodies or not. That's still me. That shit crazy.
Yeah.
The frequency of self, that's hard.
Yeah.
Everything, real shit. Because that's exactly what it is. It's like when you get to and that's that symbology shit that you talking about. When you get to certain frequencies, I think subconsciously those frequencies create symbology that you can understand, but at that level, because we still in physical bodies. You know what I'm saying? So that's what damn near elevates you, is like when you get into a higher frequency and you can understand it, but you can only understand it by way of the shit here, like all the shit that we take in with our two physical eyes. And I only say that because a lot of the shit, like even when you have a dream, most of your shit, like, yeah, it may be a place that you ain't familiar with, but it got trees, it got water, it got dirt, it got bird. You know what I'm saying? Like it got all the normal shit that everybody used to. You know what I'm saying? Even on the crazy ones, where you may be in some crazy shit, it's still something that you reckon, like, you feel me? Like something that you can see and recognize and make out to where you understand and you can maneuver throughout that motherfucker. So that whole that connection, bro, on like you said, it's all the frequencies of self and how much of that shit you can understand and interpret for real.
Real quick, let me think about the ancestors, right? A lot of different ancestors like the Dogon tribe and shit like that, and all these different people, they had these so-called alien encounters on different parts of the earth and shit. A lot of these niggas reported having these people or beings come from the sky and shit. But they wanted them to come. They think about how these niggas, is connected with the earth, they connected with the trees, they connected with everything. So then they looking at the sky, they like, well, I know it's some beings up there, and they drawing them down, they playing drums and shit. They're getting on a frequency to call these niggas. So they attracted that frequency of self out of the sky to visit them and give them knowledge of the stars and shit.
And that's a fact, bruh. That's
I love the fact that you said like playing the drums and shit, because
real
just like
shit.
the Pied Piper, when you create that music, it creates that path, that you know what I mean? Like
bruh. It's so crazy, bruh. That's a fact. It's so crazy because they be having names for that, like each individual frequency and song. They be having that like named out, like, you know what I'm saying, like almost on some, hey, play that whoopty whoop to get them niggas here. This one's for them. You know what I'm saying? We got this one for a different type of, you know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Slide through. Hold on, we finna hit these niggas with this because right now it's this time of year, and that's when we know they the closest. You know what I'm saying? On some crazy shit, man.
Bro, we all connected. All the beings. So it's almost like the Oh fuck! I'm just getting downloads right now. So the universe, one verse, one song or vibration, one frequency, but it's different varies of frequencies within this one frequency. So, or variations. The different beings within throughout the whole universe, we all connected. Like it's all self, because it's all consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's all within the mind of God or whatever you want to call it. So like, what if the gods and shit, like, I don't give a fuck if you're talking about Ifa, the voodoo gods, you're talking about the Egyptian gods. All of these beings exist on some frequency because it all exists inside of the mind of God. So when you call on these particular names, it's almost like you're summoning forms out of the ether. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With the freak, and they all exist because like every thought exists. The all exist. So like Vishnu, Krishna, I don't care if you talk about Horus, Thoth, all these different beings are just different frequencies of the self that may or may not have their own experience.
Yeah.
This shit crazy. It's all connected, bro.
But see, but when you say May, I'm gonna say hell yeah, May, because if you beat the drum, doop doop doop, boom, that's Thoth. Doop doop doop,
Exactly.
boom, boom, that's Horus. Yeah, like you know
Exactly.
Hey,
crazy.
check this out.
It's crazy.
You see this?
Yeah.
You see this symbol? You can kind of see it right here behind me, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
See
the
that?
flower of life? Oh, okay.
Yeah, facts.
That
Yeah.
symbol. Oh shit! Nah, that symbol is an entity. It's a being. It's
Yeah.
holding shape. It's maintaining and holding its shape to vibrate at that frequency. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you get to certain, and that's why people be like these shapes are literally the building blocks, like on some creator shit, the building blocks of a lot of physical realities and shit. You know what I'm saying? The flower of life, the beginning, like a lot of shit. So it's like the symbols. That's what. And then you start looking at these ancient civilizations, and they have symbols. They don't got words. It's symbols. It's shapes. It's, you know what I'm saying. The actual, like I said, the language of the universe, shapes, colors, and numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like,
It's dope because just when you put it into real time and shit, right? Like anything that any of us do is called the performance. So that form is automatically given off a performance, or just like you were saying, Christian, with the universe, it's still a song that's being played. So the performance based on the form is still sending up. Hey, we finna go there tonight. We're about to go there tonight.
That's it. Wow, bro. Damn.
yeah. Because I remember one time I was sitting there, bro, and I got to looking at, because I got a couple of different shapes, the Metatron Cube. I got all these different shapes and shit. Sitting there staring at them and shit, and it like just hit me. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a epiphany or some shit. That shit just hit me, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm looking at entities right now. Like these are a certain like this is a certain entity that I can. I've been exchanging with these niggas the whole time because they've been on my wall for probably a year. You know what I'm saying? And then I finally come to the point where I'm like, oh shit. So I took the time out to acknowledge each and every one. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And that's that subconscious shit, like just having certain symbols and frequencies around you, either whether it's shapes, numbers, and colors. You know what I'm saying? You're exchanging energy with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Bro, that shit is insane, bro.
Just figured it out, bro. Like I don't know what we on right now, but I just figured this whole shit out.
It's lit.
Yo, so all right, damn. I'm just go straight into the door on this one. So if it's all one verse, right? Even you call it a multi-verse, nigga, it's hella songs, nigga, right? But it's all, even that's one song, it's one verse.
Right.
We are, so with the soul, the living entity is just a frequency holder. It's a frequency. So basically, I'm just a frequency, and I can become any frequency that I want to become. Like the whole thing is sound and vibration, and form, whatever you want to call it. Because by me being a Krishna devotee, I have become Krishna. Y'all call me Krishna. I am Krishna. Whenever I talk, you know, I talk the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, and all this Hindu knowledge pours through me because I have vibrated to the Krishna frequency. So I am an extension of that frequency. But if I wanted to right now, I could turn into Horus. I was Horus. I remember when I was Horus. I was on that Horus frequency, heavy, nigga. I was like, nigga, I'm Eru, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And everything I said was Ra and Elohim, and you know what I'm saying? I was teaching about the Egyptian gods because all of this shit is just frequency, bro. I don't exist. I'm just an interdimensional being that can become whatever I want to become at any moment.
Woo.
And that's what we all are.
That's that talk right there. Two things you said. I'm gonna just go by what you just said. I don't exist. I used to tell motherfuckers that shit a lot of times. Like, I don't even exist. But going back to what you said, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was Horus, just like I said, nigga. Horus is the booty boom 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 boom. That's Horus.
Right.
Krishna is booty 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 boom boom boom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
it's different.
In how you perform. The performance is the form.
Facts. It's the performance of the formless.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So everything is like the forms that we see. You call it Horus, Krishna, Vishnu, whatever, Shiva. These are ones of the zero. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's all just zeros and ones. The form is the one, and the formless, which we all are, is the zero.
The zero.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's lit, bro. I understand what the fuck I am.
Hey, this shit is lit right now. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Niggas is lit right
now. What?
Yeah. Talk about them aliens. We done figured it out.
Hey, nah, real shit. Time travel the whole nine. Multiverse travel in the multiverse. What you want to do? Ultimately, what you trying to do, man?
For real.
Now you got me
because I know we totally left the movie. Let's spin it back to the movie.
I don't even want to talk about that motherfucker no more.
I'm gonna bring it back real quick.
Okay.
Going back to what we was just now saying, you know, the movies play on your senses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Emotional like a motherfucker, so they move you. They call it a motion picture, but I'm gonna start calling it an emotional picture, right? They're meant to move you, and then motions or energy in motion is called emotion. So, you know, they say a motion picture, but emotion picture because they play on your emotions.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if we can be, and I know I said symbol illiterate earlier, but I'm gonna just say also probably even what's that shit called? You're not emotionally intelligent, right?
So yeah, emotional intelligence. Yeah.
So if we don't know how to process our emotions, then we may miss on also another aspect of what these movies are telling us.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, they're still meant to move you, like, you know what I mean, and they're still meant to move us forward and not backwards, like, you know what I mean. So a lot of these movies are going to propel us into what we call the future, like, you know what I mean. But it's still going to be in the now. So I think that they did a great job. Like, you know, me and Self was talking off camera, and it's just like a lot of this stuff is in our faces, like, you know what I mean, because where are we going to right now? We accepted AI, we accepted a lot of different technology that's taking place. So what are we doing right now? Would it be in our favor not to say, hey, we got to put it in their faces? And they've been putting it in our faces, but now this movie right here is just in your face, like, you know what I mean. And
exactly.
If we're not again emotionally intelligent or even symbolically intelligent, then we may miss, you know, the things that's being dropped on that shit for real. But the film is dope as fuck for anybody who has not seen it yet.
Yeah, definitely gotta watch it. Definitely, if you, hopefully we ain't spoil it for you, but still go watch it though. If you ain't seen it, still definitely go watch it, man.
Just watch that joint. Yo, I just wanted to. The thought came to me when you said something about the senses again. Just bringing it back to what we were just talking about. I understand why, you know, in the Eastern philosophy, the true reason why they teach you to detach from your senses. It's not because like to indulge in the senses is bad or nothing like that. It's just if it's true that we are the zero and then these forms are the one, right? Or it's like, you know what I mean? If you attach to your senses,
ego,
then you're gonna you're gonna it can cause you to forget that you're the zero because you think it's tricking you into being attached to this body.
Gotcha. I got you.
You feel me? So when you can kind of pull yourself back from the senses and come back into the soul or the self, then it frees you from this prison of a form. It's not really a prison, but it can be.
No, you good? Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
If you think that you are this form.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exodus
right.
talks about that.
Exactly. Because truly, we are every form. That's what you want to get to. And then when you know that, if you can stay in that, then it don't matter if you indulge the senses as long as it don't trick you back into sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel me?
Talk that shit.
But so I'm every form. I'm Woon. I'm self-made. Like literally. Damn, I'm not this nigga right here. This ain't me. But if you believe in your senses, you would think this is me. This is why niggas worship niggas like Jesus, and because they like, yo, when he say I am the way, truth, and the light, they attach to the one, not the zero. They like, oh, this form. I have to worship this form. When Krishna said
right now.
The form of the zero. Right.
What'd you say? Yeah, the form of the
zero. The form of the zero.
You feel me? Niggas be worshiping the form, and that's why so many religions, because some lucid nigga came around talking that shit. And they're like, oh, we gotta worship this one. We gotta worship this form to get to heaven. But they never say that. They're like, nigga, I'm not talking about this, nigga, not this.
Yeah, right.
Soul, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that shit.
Nah, you good. That's going back to the scriptures real quick. That's why Jesus, they was like, nigga, ain't your father and mother Woody, what they're talking about the form.
Exactly.
Like, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, nigga, you on some physical shit on the form?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I inform you, but nigga, nah, I'm none of that shit.
Exactly.
Nigga, like,
right.
For real. Hey,
man, that shit, it busts the whole shit open. It busts all religions open. Like, y'all niggas is tripping. They stuck on the form, dog. Like, damn. And now from this conversation, now I could choose whatever frequency. I'm free. Like, I'm literally free.
Right there.
If I want to get into love, nigga, I can listen to some love music, or I can listen to a love track. If I want to get on some enlightenment shit, nigga, I play some Krishna mantras or some Shiva mantras. This is how you navigate the universe. This is how you travel.
That's why they say I'm going to the beat of my own drum.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, bro. Damn. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm about to go crazy now. Like, nobody want to talk to me no more.
Hey, man. Hey, W's in the chat for real.
Right now. Hey, if y'all, peace to the chat, man. Hey, if y'all see where we at right now, how we vibing, hopefully y'all, is tapping in. Hopefully y'all got y'all little hand drums out at least, or snapping your poetry shit. Like, hey, they snapping right now.
For real.
Like, I'm on straight deity time now, nigga. Like, these niggas, bro, damn. Yo, y'all might have to stop me, bro. I'm about to become a cult leader, nigga. Watch out real quick. It's a wrap.
Hey,
this shit is lit, man. Hey, it's dope because we ain't had an opportunity, man. I know we do this, behind the scenes and shit, like, you know what I mean, on the regular, but it's good to, still be who we are or who we are not, and then, just having the people included into our conversations.
That's what I call God mode.
Exactly. It's lit like that, man. And just to be us and how we doing our shit, because everybody, we all bring this element, man, and it's dope as fuck to just have it on a public situation for sure.
Right. Other lucid dreamers and shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. And it's been a minute, man. So to come back with a bang like this.
Ooh, like this one? Yeah. It's lit.
That's like, okay, we in here, like, for real. That shit just flooded through real quick. Like, whoa, motherfucker, mini hurricane just slid through and started everybody was just dropping. I
keep lighting up. My fault.
Dropping.
Oh, no, you good. Go ahead and do your Dougie.
All right, real quick. So, all right, I wanted to ask you this anyways, Woon.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
talk about the experience and the experiment.
Yeah.
All right, if I'm a scientist and shit, right? God, the ultimate, the supreme scientist, right? I'm doing these experiments, right? I create these little things called universes and shit,
Yeah.
and I see what I can get up out of them. So, do you think the experiment is like a blind experiment, like yo, throw this little shit together and see what comes out of it, or is it a calculated experiment, like nigga, I'm trying to see what I can produce, like I'm trying to specifically produce something out of this shit?
Dope ass question. I'm gonna say both.
Okay.
I want to give definition to why I'm saying both, but for sure, I want to say I love the blind aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I'm saying both from the knowing aspect is because everything is all in my mind already. So it has to go from mind to the form, like the form that we're talking about. So we have to formulate our thoughts first. So as soon as we formulate those thoughts and those thoughts become forms, then now we kind of understand a little bit on how it's going to go. So we already kind of like have an understanding, at least thought-wise, on what it looks like, right?
Right.
Then that's the experience. So we have to have that experience in terms of seeing, we have to play it out. The experiment is, well, what do we get out of this shit? Like, you know what I mean? So then it's either going to be a confirmation that's going to come about, like, you know what I mean? So it's simultaneously playing both sides of the shit. Like, you understand what I'm saying? In order, because you have to have an open mind enough to have a real time epiphany or aha moment or the oohs and ahs. That's why we have the Wizard of Oz, right? Because when you allow yourself to come from experiencing the cowardly lion to the Tin Man to the Scarecrow to all these different things, and then you bring it back home. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So you allow these things to take place at a certain time. So now you're having these experiences, but you're still experimenting. So I believe that it's both simultaneously, and that's what keeps the eternal thing going. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a dope ass situation. Even just like I just now gave a reference to the Wizard of Oz, but I also recognize that is also a diamond shape, which is 360, which is like a baseball thing. So you start home, first base, second base, third base, angle to right, and then you come home. Like, you know what I mean? Every base is 90 angle base, like, you know what I mean? 90-degree angle base. So then you bring it back home type shit.
That's
so on that type of time, it's just like, yeah, I'm starting off at home, so I can map out the whole playing field. But guess what? I'm gonna have fun while I'm going from first base, second base, third base, all the way back home. So experience and experiment. The shock of, nigga, I might be in a pickle when I'm in between third and second base. Like, hold on, nigga, I gotta go this way. Then this motherfucker tripping. I gotta go. Like, if you know baseball, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I mean? The pickles. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, I can't move. Like, all right, like, you know what I mean? So it's ultimately a game that you are playing with yourself, but at the end, you know, sometimes you want to win, sometimes you want to lose. So even the wins are wins, and even the losses are wins because of the lesson, because you don't really know. So that's why nowadays we accept the L's as learning and not losses. Like, you know what I mean? So again, we're starting to advance ourselves in a certain state to where we just understand that it's all us and it's all for the betterment of us, even if we have the illusion of it being not us.
Right. So
I'm gonna say again, to answer your question directly, it would be both. It would be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fail safe.
Yeah.
The reason I asked the question is because I think we talked about it a little bit in our last conversation. I think a part of the experiment is to produce niggas like us. Like, that's the point of the experiment.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you can bring up a picture right now. You don't have to, but Selfmade, I know you can bring up pictures and shit. You look up the universal form of Krishna. Now, just for the sake of my symbols, right?
Hey, are you talking about the? I'm sorry, go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, the picture I sent you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the sake of like me giving understanding of what I mean when I say what I say. When I say Krishna, I'm talking about the scientist, the supreme scientist, the nigga that's conducting these experiments with self.
Right.
So, you know, that self, if everything is this, okay, the picture is gonna help me explain what I'm saying. Go to the 5th picture. Yeah, go to the very top, go to that 5th picture. Yes. Can you make it big? I guess that's big enough. I mean, we can all see that.
Yeah.
So look, so Krishna's the one in the middle, right? So let's either say that that's the 0, or let's just say that's the supreme one, or the whatever, you know what I'm saying, just for the sake of the conversation, right?
Right.
And then all the ones coming off of him are him. But this is like the one next to him, that's Woon, and the one next to him, that's Selfmade, and the one next to him, that's me. And what the 0 in the middle is doing is creating clones of himself. We clone Tyrone. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So the point of the experiment is for that 0, the one in the middle, to expand and create infinite versions of itself that is in its highest state, because all of those beings are in their highest state and they are him, but they got different personalities.
Right.
You feel me? So that's why they call them the supreme personality of Godhead. We are all personalities of Godhead. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why I say I think the experiment is for the sciences, Krishna in the middle, to keep expanding himself into more versions of himself, and then what those versions of himself do, we become like angels for the simulation. You know what I'm saying?
Experience. Yeah.
For the experiment, we help niggas in the experiment. We like, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I wish we. Hey, Self, can you pull up damn, that picture that you was talking about, Christian, and reference to the movie.
Exactly.
They also have that same kind of depiction and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit, telling you, that's
when you sent that, I said, man, you want to know what? I see that shit already.
Yeah.
But it was something that I didn't catch it. I was symbol illiterate to that until you pointed it out. Like, you know what I mean? Because now we talking about some Hinduism type of time, or we even from a Buddhist type of right there.
Exactly. Look at that shit, boy.
Man.
Same shit.
Same shit.
That's crazy.
The Black Olympians, man. We out here.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Again, man, like that movie, man, it's dope, man. I appreciated it for sure. I just love it, man. It's, you know, just like I'm gonna keep my original statement that I posted on social media. It's all about spiritual evolution. And I love your aspect, Christian, because just like I said, like I was waiting. I was like, I know this nigga going shit that I ain't even privy to, because just like I said, I'm gonna admit it, I'm symbol illiterate when it comes down to the symbology of Hinduism or even Buddhism. Like, you know what I mean? So for you being that version of me that studies Hinduism or Buddhism, like, nigga, like, well, you don't know about this shit? Like, nigga, watch this. Like, you know what I mean? So it's lit.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
That's a fact.
That Soma shit, that shit really had me fucked up, because I never looked at Soma like that before until you pointed it out in the movie. I'm like, damn, Soma is sense gratification. It's our pleasure, it's our addiction to the material world. But
yeah, that's
this shit is lit.
If you ain't seen it, go see it again. For real, for the ones who ain't, and see what you get out of it, because it's deep on a lot of different levels. and just blatant. I liked it, that blatant aspect of it, because it's like you don't get that shit. It was so blatant. I was like, damn, man, we been saying that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they was dropping certain shit, I'm like, this shit crazy. Like they just blatantly now just doing it. You know what I mean? So yeah, nah, definitely go tap in with that.
Damn, and they were playing roles too. Like Tyrone was a drug dealer, Slick was a pimp, what's the name was a hoe. But these are just roles that they're playing. It's not who they really are. You know what
Right.
I mean? So
Right.
all of that shit got a lot of deep shit. It's layers in that bit.
That's why when you talk about like the lucid dreaming and shit, it's just like, and even like, man, the conversation that they had with old boy, I don't remember his name, but after they left from the club, when he was explaining, like, hey, he was like, man, if it was up to me, I would have been done killed you. Like, you know what I mean? But there's a higher power that's at play, right? And then they find out who's the higher power is himself. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, but what did he say? He was like, this shit sound like a joke. He was like, a whole pimp and a drug dealer all walks into a bar and yada yada yada. Like, you know what I mean? So just the level, man, that they was taking it to is just like, man, we're talking about it right now, and I wish that we can give it, but it's just like we can't even give it because even in the movie, Tyrone had to understand for himself what it looked like. Like, you understand what I'm trying to say? So we can only
They gotta kill themselves first.
Yeah, we can only do so much in terms of just dropping it, but it's a shift, man. It's a process, and I think the more that people want to go there, then the more that they're going to be hip to certain things. But but again, the movie was lit, so y'all check that shit out for real.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
it's crazy.
man. I
People
was
are
gonna
gonna
say I'm gonna
continue.
have to get out of here. This dude over here is going
Okay.
crazy.
Oh yeah,
I'm still on daddy and work time too. You know what I'm saying? I know we was trying to keep it 2 hours. We still ended up
yeah,
going a little over. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
No, shit, it's 12 o'clock out here anyway.
oh, for real? Oh yeah, I
Hell
forgot you
yeah.
3 hours ahead. Damn, I keep thinking you
Hell
two.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good though, man. This is a beautiful build, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
nah.
y'all. This was a great one type shit. Like
This was one of them one. Hey,
Came back swinging.
if we ever come back, this one was a great, like, we're back type shit. Like,
Hey, facts, and opened it up nice for real. But yeah, nah, we finna be back. You know what I'm saying? Some more. The schedule may be different. You know what I mean? It may be on a weekend, or you know what I'm saying? Because I definitely like the 2 hour blocks during the week is cool, but on the weekends we could bust some shit down for real. You know what I mean? On just
Fact.
normal type of timing. You know what I mean? Because I know you off, and you know what I'm saying. People can catch
Yeah.
those, and maybe just be able to really vibe out with us. Because I know we can go damn near an 8 hour shift, work shift. Easy,
8
you know what
hours
I'm
is
saying?
crazy.
For
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
But yeah, nah, man, we definitely back, man. We'll let everybody know when the next ones is popping for sure. We got to get some people in on the next one. We was thinking about doing the how the alien concept interferes with religion and religious thought.
yeah. Woo. That's gonna be one of them ones.
So
Because they gotta bring him
definitely,
out.
yeah, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta talk about it.
Go ahead, Chris Nandi.
Next time, because I meant to bring it up, but I forgot. Remember the last conversation we was having in the group chat with Kareem about
Yeah.
God not depending on, not needing man and all this type of shit.
All that,
Boy,
hey, yeah, all that.
when
We
I
gotta
tell
hit all
you,
that.
because I'm listening to the audio form of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is one of the most powerful books in Hinduism. Nigga,
Yeah.
the very next chapter, the day after we had that conversation, the very next chapter that I listened to, Vishnu, the Supreme Lord of the universe, right? The zero, whatever. He said, because somebody came, my bad, real quick. Can I say this real quick?
No, you good.
Yeah, you good.
I'm hella listening right now.
So, make a long story short, the devotees of the Lord are considered to be the most powerful beings in the universe, right? the Lord favors them the most.
Right.
So he also favors the Brahmins, which is like the priests and the spiritual niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? But they might not be devotees, but like they on the knowledge and shit.
Right.
The Lord loves them too. Anyways, make a long story short, one of the Brahmins offended one of the devotees. And what ended up happening was the Lord's weapon called the Sardarshan disc started chasing the Brahmin. And this nigga was running through the whole universe trying to get away from this shit. The Sardarshan disc chakra is the most powerful weapon in the universe, right? It's like Vishnu's weapon. But make a long story short, the nigga was running from it the whole time, and he couldn't get away from it. So he ended up going to heaven, to the heavenly planets, and he asked Brahma to help him. Brahma was like, yo, I can't help you. We don't got no powers that can stop Vishnu's powers.
Right.
Then he went to Shiva. Shiva was like, yo, bro, I can't help you, nigga. We can't. Vishnu created us. We just his dream characters, right? You got to go ask Vishnu. He went to Vishnu. Vishnu said to him, he pleaded, he was like, yo, you're the Lord. You created everything. I surrender to you. I offended one of your devotees. Please, like, stop this from killing me. Vishnu, his first words was, I am under the complete control of my devotee. I am not at all independent. You know what I'm saying? Therefore,
right there,
bro.
Right there.
He keep going. I can't remember verbatim. It was so fucking deep. He was like, "Yo, I can't stop it. I'm under complete control over my devotee, and I'm not independent. You got to go to the devotee and apologize. That's the only way you gonna stop this.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, type shit.
Yeah, no, that's deep.
And that's what I'm saying. That's more confirmation because we was deep. We was deep into that conversation, but it's just like, man, there's the evidence that says, hey, it has to be on the, and I don't want to say has to because that's how like the conversation gets kind of crazy, but it is that. We don't have to say has to, but it is that. Like, you know what I mean? And then there's evidence to prove that's what it is. So
right.
time is just like, nigga, show me where it's not that.
That's what I'm saying. And just to wrap up, what I'm saying is like for God to create the lip, for him to have the experience, to have the experiment.
What has to happen?
Exactly. He has to make the creation. He has to make man. You know what I mean? So he does need man for his purpose.
You have to come back, and I don't want to say it like that, but if you're because I just like to deal with mathematics, so I can take humanity out of it. But if you understand mathematics, that mathematically is correct.
Right. Right. Because what is the zero without the one?
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say.
How can we even know what the zero is without the one? Like
exactly, it's nothing. It's nothing. That's the boring spot.
The formless to the formed.
It's boring there. Right. That's what I'm saying. You ain't trying to you're just gonna be sitting there and just in total what, like just nothingness. Absence of everything. You like, man, get me the fuck up out of here, man. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Go all in everything and shit.
Real quick, let me, that's a one.
Yeah, let me see what else they got.
Exactly.
You say, oh shit, that nigga, okay. If you fuck up, they got a fail safe. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? You like, oh, hit this fail safe, blow up everything, destroy everything, and start over. Real shit. That shit don't work. It fail safe. We finna do it over again. You know what I'm saying? And you just keep doing it.
Eternal.
What if last thing I'm gonna say? I know.
right now, so I understand.
Yeah.
What if you are? This gonna sound crazy because you said it's zero is the boring spot. I be thinking about this shit. So if zero, like we calling it zero, so we perceive it as nothing. But what if it's just no thing, like it's no matter? But what if it's at the same time? What if at the same time it's everything? That's one thought.
It is.
You feel me? It might not actually be nothing in there. Everything might be in there.
No, that's a fact.
You feel me?
Yeah, that's a fact. Everything is in there. It's just in there in non-physical form in thought. Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
you can have
So
all the
on
thoughts,
the
and
flip
you can
side,
just be in your thoughts, and that's cool. But
What's the
until they can,
confirmation?
there's no confirmation with it until you play it out.
exactly.
If you look at now, if we look at you know, and I know that the zero kind of looks like not necessarily a full circle, but if we know that a full circle encompasses all shapes and all angles, then we know that everything is already encompassed in this circle. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So then we can extract a one, a two, a three, whatever that we want to extract, right? But
Exactly.
that's where it's
So
at.
this is the last thing I was gonna say. So what if say your one is your body or some shit, right?
Hmm.
What if a one can become so powerful that the one can take its one into the zero
It can.
and
Yeah, it
keep the
can.
one intact?
It can.
So you
It
feel me?
does. It does.
It does.
It does.
So
Let me say this.
so
Ooh, see, you're gonna have us going all night. But let me say this real quick.
okay.
Let me say this to that real quick. On Side Netter, because I was just not. I'll be banging on. You know, I go to their channel a lot, and you know, I just be talking
Yeah.
my shit. And I said exactly what you just said, right?
Mm.
So, Side Netter says that you know that we are the all.
But wait. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
We
Go
are the
ahead.
all. Real quick,
Okay.
because I don't want to go there like that. But he says that we are the all. But then, um, Nepal would say that you know that we that there is a higher being and shit, right? But we understand zeros and ones. So
Right.
as soon as we say that we are all, are we discounting the fact that we are both the zero and the one, right?
Right.
So as soon as we say
Yeah.
we're the all, then that's putting us in that zero space. But
Right.
then when we say that, okay, well, what does that look like? Can we shift from that zero to that one? Boom, yes, we can, right? So then we become the one. And then we're looking at the one. Now we're just like, okay, well, what does that shit look like? And then we're like, oh, there go another zero. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna go fill that space and we're gonna turn that zero into the one. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's still on a level of reflection because it's just like, well, the zero is the empty space. So let me go fill that space to make sure that I'm not leaving any gaps in between anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay. 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 That's hella deep. So
Like, yeah.
what I'm thinking is like, okay, so say that zero, it's like some interdimensional space. It's the soup. It's the primordial
Right.
space, the inter or transcendental state, right? If zeros are find a way to go into if ones find a way to go into the zero, what if when you go to the zero, it's a whole bunch of ones in that bitch kicking it like lucid niggas
As
in
it
that
should be.
space?
Yeah.
What
You
would
feel
that be though? What would that be though?
what you mean? What would it be?
Like what would that be? What, like if ones went into the zero and was kicking it, in what aspect, like in what way? Because they're winning, like it's only thought in zero.
Right.
So it
So
would
the
be the
one,
same. It would be the same way as it is here.
Right, but it would
right.
be different. It will only be
This
the
would be
highest level of thought.
this would
Is
be
what I would say.
I'm sorry, go ahead, my bad, my bad, my
Now,
bad.
what would you buy? I feel like it's important what you about to add
We
to.
gonna go to the Matrix. This is Neo coming from the zero space. He was nothing. He was working a regular job and then he became the one. But guess what? He still had to bounce back into that being the one and going back into the zero just to turn the zero into the one. Like, nigga, I'm gonna manipulate all this shit. So it's a level of manipulation when it comes down to that type of space and energy and shit, right? AKA the Matrix. So what does it look like? So now
But see,
to
look
answer,
though, I'm.
and that's what I'm saying to answer your question.
Oh,
What
okay, okay, okay.
which one is the Matrix?
You said
But that's
which
what
one?
I'm
Say it
saying.
again.
Yeah, which one is the Matrix, the zero or the one?
Yeah, it's all the same. That's what I was.
That's
That's
what I'm
ultimately
saying.
what. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's ultimately what I was
Mm,
saying. It's like when
Yeah,
because the zero is both already. It's already
right.
the zero and the
right,
one. That's
It's
that
right,
control chaos.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then from control chaos, you get uh the control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or from the darkness, which there's light in the darkness, and then that shit produces the structured light. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So in essence, the light going back into the darkness, but there is that, you could say, convergence in a sense of like the one, like to take the one back into the zero, the one's becoming the zero. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
Right.
what if what if the one can still maintain its form while in the zero? Like
Then it would be
say,
in one. It then
it's a
it's like,
transcendental one. So
Exactly.
you
Because
feel what I'm
you have,
saying?
you have the ability to be Jesus. And I'm saying Jesus in the sense of I'm in my human form, but I'm still God, my nigga. So we're
Right.
Exactly.
two things, like, you know what I mean?
So
right.
that could happen on Earth, but it say, it was another space where only the most enlightened beings go, because you have to reach a certain state to get to that level of the dream, right?
Resurrection.
It would be a lucid dream amongst lucid dream, like they call it in
Dream in
Buddhism.
a dream.
Yeah.
What did you say?
In Buddhism, they call it the crystal city. In Hinduism, they call it Vaikuntha. So, or they call it a Buddha field. So it's a dream still.
You said they call it the Crystal City?
Yeah.
That's lit as fuck. I mean, let me say something to that real quick. My bad.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
like the boss going to Emerald City. But go ahead. I just want to say that.
But you said who going to Emerald City?
The Wizard of Oz, they went to Emerald City in order to, you know what I mean?
I didn't even peep that. I ain't even peep that.
We
So
vibing right now. It's lit.
right. So what I'm saying is, like, it would be a state where it's straight lucid niggas. So the reality is gonna reflect our state of being. So it would be a paradise. It would be a beautiful world because it wouldn't be no negative thought there. It would just only be straight lucid dreamers.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Represented by the one. That's still cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Right.
that's the whole we create the world based off of the thoughts that we think. You know what I'm saying? So wherever we're at is where we're going.
So
You know what I'm saying?
to bring it full circle, because me and my nigga was just building about this the other day. It's like, so if that place, say Vaikuntha is a real place and it's lucid niggas there, straight clones of Krishna, or lucid dreamers and shit with their own personality. So it'd be like me, you, and Woon up there just chilling, but it's our own world and shit, and it's infinite, because an infinite object would cast an infinite shadow. So that the material world is the shadow of that place. But as we transmute the darkness into the light, because I'm calling the zero the light.
Right.
You're extracting lucid dreamers to grow Vaikuntha, and it's infinite. So the darkness is infinite and the light is infinite. And it's like, but the darkness is the fuel for the light.
For the light.
You feel what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
Type shit. So I'm just an angel, bro. I'm just here to turn the darkness into light. So I'm just here to create more lucid dreamers, bro.
Straight up. Real shit.
Hell yeah, no, that was lit. That's that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For sure, but we can do this shit forever.
And it's that's what I'm saying. We gotta have one of those, because we built like that shit's stacking right now. It's almost like we had a whole bunch of shit built up, and then, you know what I'm saying, now that we unpacking shit right now. All this time in between, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, yep, now we finna start unpacking shit. So, but yeah, on the next one for surely we gotta really run something. Put that back.
Yeah, for sure. But I ain't gonna hold you. I need to take my ass to sleep in this bit.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to the chat, man.
For
sure.
sure.
We got some people in the building. Hopefully, because we got the Trinity right now, just dropping everybody's different perspectives on this shit, and it's lit. And again, we haven't spilled it a long time. So just like Self said, we have a lot to unpack, because this trip is a full journey. Like, you know what I mean? We just been going from city to city, state to state of mind, and we ain't even been able to unpack. So now we're sitting down, we're chilling right now, so we can unpack a lot of shit.
Right. Niggas been traveling.
Yeah,
You a fucking wordsmith, nigga.
No,
what was that?
Nobody
But
special.
shit, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Peace to the guys, peace to the chat, man. I hope
Sir,
everybody
man.
realize who they are. You know what I'm saying? Find your drum to your beat. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And be on the frequency you want to be on. You know what I'm saying? Figure out how to navigate this motherfucker. But
Peace to the
peace to the
God.
guys.
Peace to the God. We appreciate you for sure. Hey, Self, real quick, you what time? What? Oh, so that's in real time. Okay. Um.
Oh yeah. I guess she talking
Oh,
about
that's
sending.
Lamaya. Okay.
You just missed it. We out of here right now, but
Yeah, because
the next one,
we had a 2. We was gonna do 2 hours, and we
yeah,
going into our 3rd. So
yeah,
we might have to reconnect on the next one for sure.
yeah. But we'll let you know though. You know what I'm saying? We'll send everybody the link. Cause I damn near forgot myself who I was sending the link to beforehand and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I only put it on Facebook. Like we
yeah. We was
that's
back,
why I
but we was
put it at
like
the
we
same
was
like,
still
no,
slacking on what we was really
yeah.
doing before. You know what I'm saying? So that's my fault on my end. But yeah, nah, you know what I'm saying? I got, works and all types of other shit. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying?
no, you good. I understand fully,
So,
but man, super
but yeah, we was
appreciated.
up though. We was up tonight, man. Shout out to the chat. Uh, and yeah, the next was just finna be, and we'll go longer. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we'll
Yeah.
try to get a weekend one going or something, or even a Friday or something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we'll just go up, vibe with the people and shit, man.
Before we out, make sure y'all tap in. Let me
Mm.
get that right. Super Different Me out wherever you could find books at Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, booksmillion.com, Walmart.com, all the shit. And you already familiar with the familiar with the first one. Go out and play both
Yes,
these
sir.
things online everywhere. I'm an author right now. I be talking that shit, but my focus is on the kids with that. But for everybody that's hearing these podcasts, we're trying to tap in with the highest of minds. Period.
Facts. Yeah. Always much love to the chat, everybody that tapped in, commented. Hey, go like and subscribe. We still here, so you
Yeah,
know
we
what I mean.
here.
It all helps. It all helps. But yeah, no, I'm out, man. Love.
Yeah. Peace and love, baby. And war. Because I want to say war and shit too, because you had to have war to have peace. Period.
Facts. All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Gon' free your mind. Gon' free your mind.